But hey, we're on the internet now. Apparently, if everything is working correctly.
It's probably lying.
I don't trust computers.
I don't see any mic bounce there. On the... If I talk, I'm not seeing anything. Yeah,
that's
it not?
because that's muted. I've got it coming in over here. Welcome to our mighty professional awesome stream, or the super awesome 24-hour board game jam.
You came up with the name.
24-hour holiday board game jam.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Danielle.
Fidget creative.
Fidget creative.
So yeah, I'm Matt,
I'm John.
Bridget.
Quentin.
Danielle.
and I'm typing into the computer trying to monitor our things. So if someone else wants to talk about what we're doing here,
All right. So we decided to do something a little crazy and do a 24-hour board game jam where we are going to try and create a game in 24 hours from idea to completion. Our rules coming into this were that we could only have loose ideas for game concepts. We were not allowed to think of mechanics or prepare artwork or anything like that ahead of time. Short, basic ideas is what we were going for. So, well, we've only got 24 hours. Should we get into the putting those basic ideas out and seeing what we're going to try and make?
I think that sounds like a grand idea. Who wants to go first?
You just want to go around the table?
So yeah, if you want to read them out, I'll write them on Post-its and then we'll put them up on our
Perfect.
whiteboard, and then we can vote and chat and probably get into fights.
Yes.
It is probably not a great idea that John and I are sitting next to each other.
This is the best idea. We're sharing a microphone.
Well, that's like across the table, so that's good at least.
When we whisper threatening things to each other, it's gonna go wild.
It's the second best thing to having that sweater. The two-person sweater. So. Oh, gosh, I wish.
Well, we discovered it too late.
Yeah.
It's all your fault.
I should have saved it as a channel one. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
we are. I guess we're going around the idea table. So let me pull up my super awesome notebook. All right. So my first idea, I'm just going to be straight up. This is just stealing from the Office episode White Elephant. So the idea is that you have a bunch of different cards that are different types of gifts. So you've got the expensive gift, that's the iPod. You've got the sweet gift, that's the teapot. You've got the cheap gift, or the terrible gift that is Creed's shirt. So I obviously these are all loose ideas. So I don't know if the mechanics would be that like you're trying to go for one thing, sort of like shooting a moon. Like I'm gonna get as many sweet gifts as I can, and maybe the mechanics would be that there's a tree over here, and so you start with like 2 cards, and you can pull from the tree, or you can try and take someone else's gift, and then when you do, at certain points in the game, you got to put cards down in front of you so that people can see them, just like what would happen in White Elephant. So that is the rough idea for that.
Thanks
one.
for stealing mine.
Oh,
But, so here's
That's one less that we have to pick.
so here's the bad news. Remember when I said one of my ideas has already been done?
Mm-hmm.
It's White Elephant. But looking at it, it wasn't super great. Sorry, game designers, if you're watching.
Let's not talk smack on this.
It didn't have good
stream
Amazon
here.
reviews.
Hey. Fidget is an
Jeez.
honest company.
All right, so I'm gonna
We
put that
appreciate
Um,
honesty
I-
around here.
Office White Elephant. And
I
then
would-
basically competitive Yankee swap is what we're talking
Yes,
about.
yes.
Okay.
I would like to pitch a title for that, which is White Elephant in the Room.
Hold on.
All right. So I have another idea that is Elf Shop Talk. So this is more of like a party game. So in theory, you would be pulling from like 3 different decks of cards. So it would be like a character, an item, and I don't know. I forget what the other one was supposed to be. Or I guess like 2 items or something like that. And so with your cards, you just have to then spit a story, and you're just trying to make your elf day the worst elf day out of all. So like if you drew Rudolph and a Christmas tree, you'd have a story about how maybe Rudolph just like stared at you as he relieved himself on the Christmas tree to like mark his territory or whatever. Obviously, I love Gloom. I love storytelling games. So not a whole lot to that other than you're picking items and you're trying to tell a story.
That could be fun.
So like elf storytelling, the worst elf day is what I
Yeah.
Perfect.
memories.
And so the final idea that I'm bringing to the table, I really do not have any real concept for the game. I just listened to Quentin and realized how he is his mage character, and he thinks that there are lizard people living under the ground and is going to end up with a tinfoil hat.
The
one
lizard
day.
people don't live under the ground. The mole men do.
So this is
Those
Clearly.
Solarians are in the core.
Big Brother Santa. It's dystopian future, and there is one man who rules it all, and he doles out presents or coal on a whim. The one actual thing that I did think of in terms of mechanics is that maybe it could be something like Salem, which I know, Quentin, you didn't end up playing that with us, but in Salem, like, one person's the
When Bridget
witch
freaked
and one
out.
person's the
Admitted.
judge, but it's not a line game. Like, I'm not good at line games, so I don't want to make a line game. So it was the type of thing
Cross
where
out my line game I did that I literally have.
I mean, if it ends up being the best idea, I'm just going to be terrible at playtesting.
Okay.
So yeah, that's really all I have for that one.
Okay. I have dystopian future with roles. Did you want any?
I would write down
specific-
Big Brother
If anyone's
Santa
got
as
anything to
well,
add
just
to
because
that,
I
cool.
really thought that was funny.
That was poor Quentin. He should have gone first.
What?
He's the one who wanted to go around the table.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Oh man, I am the worst.
What?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I forgot his
Put
yeah.
on my
no.
attire. Anyway, John, you can go ahead and pitch.
Okay, so one, y'all with your notebooks and stuff definitely did far more preparation than I thought was allowed
I
for
mean,
this
like-
project.
I mean, it is.
Here you can.
It is that.
Yeah.
It's-
I went with the same assumption that you did.
It's fine.
No notes.
Because so here's my two ideas. The first one is holiday themed. It's competitive Christmas tree decorating. Like maybe you have to collect cards, and there are hook cards and ornament cards, and only certain hooks and ornaments can go together, and then they can only be hung on certain branch levels, and there's only so many ornaments allowed in each
Like
branch.
the heavy ornaments can't
Yeah,
go in the weak ones.
exactly,
That's cute.
exactly. So that was the first idea,
Okay.
and then the second one
Oh,
is
wait. Let Danielle
oh,
finish
You went so
whiteboarding.
fast.
Hand cramp first 10 minutes.
this is why I'm so bad at whiteboarding and my handwriting is so terrible, because the brain and the mouth and the hand are all running at different paces.
Okay. What else you got?
Okay, and then the second one is just for the season of winter, a snowball fight. So you're drawing cards. It could be like, you know, basic snowballs or ice balls or a shovel or, you know, something, and you're basically just kids throwing snowballs at each other. And then once all the when all the dust settles, when everybody's cold, maybe it's time based. So maybe it's only so many turns and so many rounds, because there's only so long you can actually have a snowball fight before you stop feeling important body parts. So maybe it'd be like round based, and whoever, you know, when a snowball fight's done, you know who won and who lost. Like that's, as a kid, that was always very obvious. So those are the two ideas I have.
Cool. Snowball
I'm
fight.
so proud of you for not mathing in advance.
Yes.
It was really
It
hard
was
for him.
so hard. The struggle is real.
Plenty of mathing over the next 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
Well, we nap. You can math.
Yeah. Nap time. All right. I have two. I have working titles for both of them, so that'll.
Do you want to toss those out first?
Well, first one, the working title is Terrible Kids vs. Santa.
Okay.
And it is a kind of play on the game Old Maid, where, you know, in the end, one of the kids has the coal, but in the meantime, you know, you're trying to make pairs of, like, wicked activities. Do you know what I mean? Kids doing awful things, but there's one person in the end who ends up with the coal. This is that one. The second one I have is working title, Ghosts of Christmas Past, and it is basically ghosts of Christmas past trying to find people Like they have to, show a certain amount of people their past activities to make them better people. I don't know. That was a more looser one, obviously. But
The Department of Ghosts of Christmas Past.
yeah, exactly.
You get assigned a shitty person.
Exactly. And you have to kind of like, I don't know, do activities to make them less shitty.
All right, settle in because I got bored at work and came up with a bunch of ideas.
Well done.
I hope no one from work is watching.
It's a terrible thing for you to hope.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. You're right.
Everybody should be
Get me
watching
fired.
right now.
I hope all of Joe is watching. So my first idea is a Black Friday simulation. It'd be like, my idea was it could be like an asymmetrical thing where it's team based. Oh no! Where everybody takes a role in a department store or toy store. Like someone's the cashier and has to manage the money. Someone has to do stocking. Someone has to interact with customers. I don't know if it's a board thing. I don't know if it's a card thing. I didn't think that far ahead.
Well, see, all these overlapping ideas means we're all kind of on the
Yeah,
same page.
that is
That's a
good.
good sign.
Let's see. A game. I don't have a title for this one, but a game about being a parent and hiding presents in the house so your kids don't find them. It can either be like a tile-based
Santa
thing.
puts the toys in the house. So.
Ours are in the basement.
This is not knowledge history, right? Danielle, I have something terrible to tell you.
All right, so we're hiding toys.
Yep, hiding toys.
That could
and
kind of be
then-
like a clue.
Yeah, I was thinking like either board based or like built board with tiles that you can flip or something. I don't know. So that's it for that one. Not much. See, you're worried about me being prepared. I had less ideas. Like more ideas, just less there. Next one's the White Elephant, which we can skip. Secret Krampus, which would be a lying game where everyone is trying to misbehave but get on Santa's nice list. But somebody is the Krampus and is trying to dole out punishments without revealing themselves as Krampus.
Cool.
I'm just waiting for Danielle to catch up.
Thank you. Krampus. Okay.
Punish kids.
Christmas song game. Probably more of like a social apples to apples Cards Against Humanity thing where you are a record producer and you're trying to create the best Christmas song.
Oh, you can make up lyrics. And
Yes.
Like you, yes.
Yes.
that's-
Yes.
I like that.
Like maybe you're given like a title card and you have to come up with lyrics and a premise. This one I like just for the stupid pun title called Clear and Present Danger. Terrorists have taken over Santa's workshop and you have to go through a bunch of presents and find which ones are bombs before they go off. What's this one? I don't even remember. Bomb, thank you. Okay. This is like a social game where you're at a holiday party at your work and you are trying to do inappropriate things without getting fired. Maybe everyone has like a different inappropriate goal that they get assigned at the beginning of the game and they need to try to achieve it without getting caught by their boss.
Okay.
All right. Next up, a lawn decoration game or like a yard decoration game where everyone just has their own little board and they're trying to manage their Christmas decorations. Maybe there's like a pool of decorations that you can buy that you can pull out. Haven't thought any much.
Would it be like neighbors? Like
Yeah, I
like
think
the fighting thing over
yeah,
fighting
exactly.
over the
Like having
ornaments?
like the street, you know, where
Yeah.
everyone's trying to outdo each other.
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I getcha.
Hey guys, I'm gonna put us on audio list for a second, so we will be right back. Maybe.
Looks like we
All right. So we are back on over here.
Yay!
I am going to try and continue to work with audio while we're live, while Quentin keeps pitching.
I like that we went away and I'm still pitching.
He's been pitching this whole time.
Last idea, I promise.
We need the Oscar music to play behind it.
Excuse me, yeah, lay me off. It's a holiday shipping game where you play as the owner of a shipping company who's trying to manage their resources during the holidays.
Mr. DHL.
Yes, Laser Ship, the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, That idea came from Matt and I complaining about Laser Ship.
Yeah. Man, oh man, could I tell you things?
But yeah, some sort of. I don't
Wait,
know,
I'm behind in the audio because the stream's behind. I just heard Laser Ship. Fuck Laser Ship. I mean, I'm sorry. Positive stream. I cannot stand Laser Ship.
Yeah.
That's
the
yeah,
worst.
and that's it. That's all.
Interesting. That could be like a logistics game, like Ticket to Ride.
Yeah,
style.
or I was thinking like Puerto Rico too, where you're like managing resources to certain places.
You
And
know, so many people have told me to play that game, and I still haven't.
It's so good. Yeah.
Played that at work actually. Alright, are you done?
I am done. I'm sorry.
So my Black Friday idea got stolen. The only other one I had was different from everybody else's, where you're basically crafting toys. So you're in an elf workshop. Maybe the elves have different roles or like skills that they're better at crafting certain toys than other ones. You could even do like time based, where like Santa comes in to check in every so often, and if you're, I don't know, if you haven't output as many toys as you should, you get scolded. But yeah, I'm assuming like toys would need certain components that you'd be collecting and then crafting.
Nice.
Maybe it's slow elimination style, like like Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Make
or
sure to
like
talk into the microphone.
first time Santa comes in, like the last place elf is out of the game,
Yeah.
and then a few more rounds until Santa comes back again, and then
Yeah, exactly.
keep dropping
'Cause I had to think
the
the same
elf that's
thought,
trailing behind.
too. I think there would have to be a way to. I think we'd have to keep the elf in the game at some point, but that's something to think about if we go with that. But yeah, that's what I had in mind.
Interesting. So 16. I like it because it's
So nice
very
and
well
symmetrical.
symmetrical. Yeah.
These are all good ideas too. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
I'm excited.
Now the tough part is going to be narrowing down to which one we can do. So before we dive in, something that I think we should keep in mind is that we have ourselves on a 24-hour clock here.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're creative people. We've got some supplies. We're going to be able to do some different things, but you should vote for the idea that you think you can actually do in 24 hours and you like.
I would vote to disqualify Black Friday because I think it's too complicated. Even though I pitched it and you pitched it.
No, and like even with my crafting one, like I really like that idea, but I do understand that it's like it can get complicated fast.
Yep.
Unless we did a more simplified version of just like crafting toys or something like that. So keep that in mind.
I also just want to say, because honestly, I didn't pay as close attention as I should have.
Uh-huh.
I am watching the chat, so if Jim FedEx or anyone else wants to vote for any ideas or make any suggestions on them,
Yeah,
feel free.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're open to ideas and votes.
Okay, so before we start voting, should we have a quick timed chat about each idea? Or
Yeah, that's
something,
not a
where
bad
we can just
idea.
kind of brainstorm and get a feel for each one. We'll
Yeah.
we'll wait till Matt's ready to settle. You're doing
Well,
some
while you're
lighting.
doing
You guys
while
go
you're
for
doing
it.
that, I can distribute Christmas crackers.
Ooh.
Which are not a food and are not something purely in the wizarding world.
They're not edible.
There might be candy in them. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Well, I don't know, because if there were food in it, it would probably be banned, like
Oh,
Kinder Eggs.
Yeah. Oh man, Kinder Surprise.
Actually, the Polish deli in downtown. Why?
So we want to be able to continue to get them there.
I'm sure no federal agents are going to.
All right, that's fair.
Watching our.
You want to pass
Carry
this one down
on.
to Matt?
No, it's fine.
I've got more too, so I think I bought. There's 8 in here and 2.
Matt, I've got something for you.
We each get one more, I believe. Or wait, do we each? No, we each get 2 more.
Keep waggling it
Every
at
time.
Oh wait, did I not give
Insist.
myself one?
Excellent. Okay.
Okay.
Are we doing
So you might want to do it away
Yeah,
from the
away
mic
from
because it'll
cameras.
pop.
Oh wait, are we doing it now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, sets up. Ready?
Oh my copy things.
Ooh, it's got like
Ooh, it's
cat
got a
powder in
smell,
it.
huh?
Yeah, it smells like cat powder.
Oh,
Well, first of all, put on your stupid paper crowns. Although maybe these are too noisy for the stream. Oh god, my head is too big for these giant.
A little frog.
I got.
I didn't get one. Did I?
Everyone gets a different thing.
Oh, I got a ring. That's probably too small
So
for
I
my
have a small
chubby
head,
fingers.
and this is not fit.
I have a giant head and this doesn't fit. So,
By
hey,
the way, we have
I didn't get a crown.
two.
Isn't that what the green thing is?
Oh,
The chat is liking the sounds of clear and present danger and shipping.
by the way, we can't call it clear and present danger because the ghost of Tom Clancy will kill us. But I don't know what this thing is.
I got a top.
I got a little jumpy frog.
Oh, the jumpy frog is cool.
Nice.
Although, so they had pictures of the potential things on Amazon, and the jumpy frog was like higher quality
Yeah.
than
Yeah,
that one. But
that's a toy.
oh, you got a oh man,
Ooh.
is this like a hairpin? Oh yeah, it is. Okay,
Oh, perfect for you, Quentin.
yeah.
Yeah, this frog is great. Awesome. Okay, so we have votes for. Let me put some dots up. So we got clear and present danger, and then
The holiday shipping.
Cool. All right. So while I'm doing this, I'm just gonna put up my votes. I
Okay.
really like the competitive Yankee swap. I thought that was good because at least 2 people came up with that. Any other ones that are like just jumping out at people we can put dots on?
I like competitive Yankee swap. I don't want to vote for my ideas because I feel like a jerk voting for my ideas. Let's see, what else do I like? Ooh,
sorry.
Dirty light.
hey. Man.
Bright light!
I feel like Secret Krampus and Big Brother
Yeah.
Santa could be like rolled into one thing.
Yeah, I like the ones where like gameplay is like hidden roles. I think we can possibly combine those.
Yep.
There was Big Brother.
Kaplawi.
Yeah, I'll put a dot in the middle of those guys.
I like the crafting one a lot. I'm,
Yeah, I do like the crafting
I'm not 100% certain we could get it done in 24 hours, but
Yeah.
maybe. And while I really don't want to vote for my own thing, I do
I'm
like
sure it kills you.
I do like the idea of a snowball fight. I think that'd be just
Yeah, that
kinda
one
like,
is really good. I
if
do
you
like
can make that like a quick game that
Right. Yeah.
you know.
I liked the tree decorating game.
We're gonna put a blue dot on everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
CB like Secret Krampus.
Of course you did.
I also really like the
I'll put a
ghost.
dot on that one too because I do like the roles.
Yeah.
I think we can pull that off.
I like the idea of Ghosts of Christmas Past, though
Yeah.
I don't like. I haven't figured out like.
Yeah,
what
that was
is.
the problem with it. It was just like,
But-
I was gonna put a dot on that too. Yeah. 'Cause I
It's a
think-
really funny idea.
Yeah, like that almost feels like somewhat close to this. Like these feel like roles that you're playing out. I kind of like the Christmas song one too.
the
Yeah.
Christmas song one is fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
I agree.
immediately
Yeah.
in brain I was thinking like, okay, it is kind of like Cards Against Humanity where you have like pieces of songs that you can then craft together.
Right.
Like,
And it would be
the
hilarious.
best songs.
You could have, what is it? Not suitable for work ones.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now that we
Yeah.
have votes out, I guess can I take?
Yeah. Do you want
Take
to
the
start
ones that don't have
eliminating,
dots, I would say.
So you're
so,
okay losing social game at work party?
oh yep,
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Lawn decor. I
like the idea, but I think it's
Yeah.
too complicated.
Yeah.
Again,
I think for that game to be the best that it could, it's not a 24-hour
Yep,
idea.
I
And
agree.
that's one
I
of
agree.
those like I could see something really complex where you have a grid
Yeah.
and you have to buy certain pieces and maximize
I
your
had-
grid. It's just too much to try and do in
Right.
this.
It's spun in my brain as
All over
Yeah.
again.
I like that you just did the Nosferatu, like
I might need to get my sunglasses at some point.
We need to
Yeah,
read.
sorry.
We need to read the
yeah.
our jokes
Oh,
to the
yeah,
audience
yeah.
too.
All right, so let's get rid of the
Yeah,
the,
do
the
it.
rest of these guys, and we'll do.
Okay, so Terrible Kids vs. Santa, elf storytelling, the worst elf day.
Are we
Which-
okay losing these?
yeah, I think so. They're
Honestly,
good ideas.
I would
but-
have a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Because I love role playing and storytelling ones,
Yeah.
and I
Well, we
would
should
have a
hold
ton
on
of
to
fun.
them anyway. We should
Yeah.
hold
Oh,
on
yeah,
to all
no.
these ideas.
We're
We're
Yeah.
not
We'll
burning
keep-
them.
Nobody steal our
Go outside,
ideas.
throw them in the grill.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, we're gonna slide that around the other side of you. Maybe.
Yeah, facing this way.
And then I'm cool with
Yeah.
getting rid of the hiding toys one if
Okay.
everyone else is.
And last one, like Black Friday was one of
It's-
the ones that I had to do,
it's-
but I think it's too complicated.
Yeah, it's like the lawn decorating where it's just like there are too many pieces.
Okay.
So do you guys want to give a recap of what we have left
Sure.
on the board?
Yeah. So we have the White Elephant idea, the competitive Yankee swap. It's got 2 votes. We have a whole mishmash of votes where we have a bunch of ideas for a dystopian future where you have like Big Brother Santa with secret roles potentially. Secret Krampus was another like secret role one. And then Ghost of Christmas Past was less formulated, but you're playing a ghost essentially. So we have like loose ideas over here for roles. There was the snowball fight that could be time based, so you're more combative and like aggressive against your other people. They're playing competitive tree decorating, which is I think we were talking about like potentially like heavier ornaments down below, light
Yeah.
ornaments above, trying to craft the best tree. There is the Christmas song game, so you're crafting the best Christmas song, most likely like Cards Against Humanity type, where you have cards that you're pulling together to create a song. Clear and Present Danger with the bomb, where you're trying to find the bomb. I love the Holiday Shipping Game, which features laser ship apparently. You're trying to do resource management to get all the toys out, I'm assuming, is what we're talking about. And the last one was a crafting one, so being an elf and crafting as many toys as you possibly can before Santa checks in.
Before we go any further, is the holiday shipping game logistically possible? Like maybe.
That feels pretty complicated.
Yeah.
Too. And I feel like I don't have enough like domain knowledge to pull that off.
That's fair. Like we'd have to do a little research into how shipping really works to kind of get that realism, right?
Yes.
You know, it's like how we did secret missions when we started making Red Scare.
Yeah.
Product placement.
Red Scare Redux product.
Where's the box? Where's the box,
Get the
guys?
product for the product placement, Matthew.
Oh, that's me. Thank
okay.
you.
So are we
Product
okay?
placement.
Are we okay putting
Really
this to the
gonna
side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I wear its dot with pride though, because I think it's an awesome idea.
Yeah. Okay.
So, are Ghost of Christmas Past, Secret Krampus, and Dystopian Future all kind of clouding into one idea there?
I feel like Ghosts of Christmas Past feels different than the other two.
Yeah,
Okay.
it does.
It's like the same idea, sort of, but these two feel so similar to me.
Yeah. But, like out of, like, I really love the idea of Secret Krampus. So like, if we did go with like a role playing thing, I would say be Krampus centric, and I don't know what else.
I
What
think
other
we could
roles?
do like a dystopian future where you're trying to misbehave because, like, Krampus could be Big Brother Santa's like top lieutenant who's like
Right.
in charge of punishing everybody.
Send in Krampus.
Yeah, send in Krampus.
But it seems like temperature wise, we're not like, yeah, we totally have to do that one though.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, even though it has, well, all of those have 3 votes, but yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have to. Chat, why don't you weigh in? Of what's left, because we took out a couple of the ones you liked. What are you guys leaning towards? Obviously, CB is leaning towards Secret Krampus, but
Of course.
So let's dive in a little bit more while we have that while we have that one there and we're talking about it, because I do kind of want to try and flush out each of these ideas
Right.
until one of us gives us like a, giddy, let's go make it feeling.
Yep.
So I think there was a movie called Krampus.
There was.
I think I generally understand the concept that it's kind of like evil Santa.
Okay, so Krampus is what is this, like Scandinavian, European?
Clear off the whiteboard. I need to really
I need
explain
to-
this.
Let me tell you the secret history of Krampus. We've got some documents here that'll clear everything up. So Krampus is like, there's Santa, and then if you, or Saint Nick, and then if you misbehave, and there's Zwarte Piet, but let's not get into that because that's racist as fuck. But then there's Krampus, who punishes wicked children by whipping them with a switch and then putting them in his little sack. So if you've been wicked, the Krampus punishes you.
It's like Joe Jackson.
Yes. So
Yikes.
essentially, instead of Santa, like the watered down Western thing where it's like, oh, Santa's gonna give you a lump of coal. No, the Krampus will fuck your shit up.
Okay.
Wowza.
So, mechanics-wise, how is this game playing? Like, you're trying to get away with doing bad things, but the Krampus could get you, and like I'm trying to wrap my mind around how this mechanics works with the 5 of us, right? So like maybe there's roles that are built up and they're secretly handed out, and most people are just normal kids, but somebody gets to be the Krampus, and so that person knows who they are, and everybody is slipping like cards in to do something, and then there's a mechanic around how
Yeah. 'cause
how
I
does
feel
the Krampus take a kid out
So-
without
I feel like you almost want to sabotage other people into being bad. Like that could be
Ooh.
something where like you're giving other people's like misbehaving cards or something like that. So you're trying to be the best person of the group, so Krampus doesn't get you. That could be something.
And then also, like, I like the sneaking thing. It reminds me a little bit of the Resistance, where
Yeah.
everybody votes, so you're not sure who's voting to like sabotage a mission. Or has anyone played Secret Hitler?
No.
So there's that too. There's like voting where you're trying to convince people, when you're voting for fascism, that like, oh, I'm not a fascist.
Yeah, Avalon's the same. It's like
Yeah.
Knights of Camelot going off. On
Exactly.
quests
Yeah.
to sabotage people depending on
Yeah.
if you like Morgana or not.
So maybe there are just like actions that are prohibited by Big Brother Santa
Yeah.
that everybody has to like go through, and those can be different every game or different every round or something.
Okay. Not gonna lie, not getting a real like big click in mechanics and how
Yeah.
how I would think about that in terms of mechanics, but conceptually I like the idea. It feels like it could be fun.
Yep.
So let's talk about another one. So Yankee Swap, because we kind of skipped over that one and moved next one on the board there. We all know what a Yankee Swap is.
Yeah, I mean, for people who don't, do you want to go through that typical gameplay?
Okay, so Yankee Swap works like this. Everybody at a party brings one present that goes into a general pool. Then there's
Perhaps under a tree of some sort.
Well, if you're in the Brown family, we typically just bring trash that's wrapped up and put on a table, and then everybody goes through multiple rounds of getting trash. And
Literal trash?
well, close.
Here's our turkey
There's typically
carcass.
like $5 Dunkin' Donuts gift cards kind of scattered around, so like you're really gunning for those. Otherwise, it's like coffee cups and just general things that you don't
Yeah.
want to
Hot cocoa sets
Stuff.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Regift Express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know what to
Very
get Danielle
off-the-wall
for
books.
Christmas then. Dunkin' Donuts gift cards,
So I
apparently.
can put them in the eggs.
But only in $5 denominations.
Sometimes it's just change. If somebody had a leftover gift card, they just toss it in.
So then the way it works from there is that a number is put into a hat for every person that's present, and then they draw, and they get to pick a present in order and unwrap it. Number 1 goes first and all the way through. When you unwrap your present, you get the choice between keeping your present that you unwrapped or swapping it with somebody else that's already opened a present. And then once you go all the way through, the person that that got number 1 gets to go and take one last present from whoever and do one last swap, and then everybody gets a present, and it kind of gets cycled through in a pool.
So it feels like it's definitely a doable thing in 24 hours.
It feels like the most doable and the thing that has like the easiest mechanics.
So what would you do? Like if you kept the gift that you had, would you win?
Well, I
Like
think
what are we
that's-
trying to get? Are you
that's the
trying to
one-
get the best gift?
Yeah, so I
or...
feel like you're trying to get the best gift unless you do like the wacky, like try to get the worst gift deal.
Right.
Either way, you're going for a specific gift type. I think the one thing that lacks in Yankee Swap as it is that as soon as you do that one action, you're done. For
That's
the
what I
game.
mean,
So
right,
there
right.
has to be something. Like,
Has to be
well,
asked.
So,
right.
I mean, especially with like 5 people, there would be multiple rounds.
Yeah.
Like,
That's-
that's
yeah,
what I
Yeah,
would
you're
that's-
think.
just
that's-
going through rounds and collecting them.
Also thinking like added mechanic can be like a Secret Santa mechanic where the game starts or the round starts and everybody has a specific person that they need to card to. Though I don't know how you keep that secret. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's just you, instead of like having the pool and everybody picking, someone is assigned someone to give to. And from your pool of gifts that you have, you give either the crappiest gift or whatever. And then you do the swapping once everyone opens. And then it's like a 5-round thing or something. End of the game, whoever has the most points wins.
Yeah, because I like the. It's basically like the secret roll thing too. Because if anybody played Raise Your Goblets,
No.
you're basically trying to poison people around the table, but
Perfect.
everybody has it's not even a secret. You have a card in front of you that tells you get bonus points essentially for poisoning a specific person. So there could be something where like you get bonus points for getting your gift to somebody else. You could get points for like getting a specific gift type. Like I think at least having other ways of getting points instead of just getting like the most expensive one or whatever
Right.
would at least be helpful.
Now that might counter the one concern that was jumping up with me because, again, thinking about the mechanics and how a Yankee swap works in real life, the person that goes first wins, right? Because
Yeah.
at the end
They get to choose
pick
again.
whatever
That's
present
true,
they
yeah,
want.
yeah.
And
Right.
so it becomes like a real balancing game of having to take a lot of those mechanics that you were talking about, like getting bonus points for doing this,
Yeah.
like
Number one
you
has
know,
all that control in their hands basically.
right. So it gets into like a realm of like, oh well, you can actually get bonus points for getting the worst card.
Well,
But
could you also have like a side thing where like you can steal number 1 from somebody? Like having like side mechanics
Yeah,
for
I
that.
mean, again, with like Raise Your Goblets, everybody had a specific like skill, or they had like a secret thing that they could do too, where I could like peek in to look at certain cups, or I could have like a last round where I poison somebody's cups. Like
Yeah.
you could have like a bonus thing that
Right,
action you
that-
could do too. I just
know.
yeah, I think the biggest thing with that is the more variables we pull into it, we just need to make sure
Make
that
it
they're
more-
all balanced,
Right.
and that one person doesn't have too much control.
Yeah.
okay. So let's talk about another idea. And was there any more Yankee swap stuff people wanted to get out there actually before we moved on?
No.
Good.
Okay. Do we want to talk Ghost of Christmas Past now?
Yeah, sure.
So I originally kind of had the idea that like, you know, I don't know if the ghost has to obviously like Scrooged, which is the best Christmas movie. Don't fight me on that.
No, I won't.
All right, good.
Yes. What? Whoa. No. Okay, we're going to have this fight. What's the best Christmas movie then?
If you don't say Gremlins, get out.
A Christmas Story.
No.
No.
Correct.
Gremlins is better. Die Hard is better. Scrooge
I
is
had
better.
to tell John, was it last night, about what happens to Phoebe Cates? Is that who?
Phoebe Cates, yeah.
Phoebe Cates'
Yeah.
dad.
Oh, yeah.
And because I thought he was going to carry all of the gifts down to the basement at once, and I was like, don't pull a Gremlins on me.
Have you never seen Gremlins?
He's never seen Gremlins.
Oh God, it's so good.
Fun fact: today I carried all the presents down.
I wasn't here.
And that's
for
why
that,
John's a
though.
ghost.
He's the ghost of Christmas past. But anyways, I was
Yes.
kind of thinking, obviously he comes and shows people like, I don't know, the error of their ways or what's going on. But I didn't. Yeah, again, I don't even know why I started talking. I don't have any mechanics down
Yeah,
for
no,
it.
I think the thing that stuck out with me is that like, I think it'd be really fun to get assigned like a shitty person.
Yeah, exactly. And you
Yeah.
kind of have to collect like memories
Yeah.
or
That'd be cool,
something along those lines to kind of piece together there's past story.
Right.
And then the shittier the person, the more points that they're worth.
But the harder they're, the longer, more, you know, like basket case, like more
Yeah, 'cause,
luggage
like,
in the closet they have.
So to bring in
whatever.
mechanics too, like this is a very basic thing, but like each, maybe you're just like you're a ghost that's churning through shitty people all night. So you get
Yeah.
a specific person that has like icons on them. So you're just trying to collect cards,
Right.
that match that combo, and then you're like, great, finish that person. I need to get to the next one.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that seems pretty doable. That
And
would be cool.
I was thinking like a slight deck building mechanic where there's the pool of cards, like the 7 or 5 that are out. So everybody can see like, oh, I want to grab that
Yeah, I
that
like
bad
that.
person, but someone can grab them before you and start building them. And
Right.
maybe there's a steal mechanic too.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, when you said pool, I was thinking like pool, like almost like a pool of memories in the middle too.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
I like that.
I like that too.
All right, so this seems to be something we're gravitating towards.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put a handful of little.
Yeah, put a couple more on you.
Okay, and do we want to talk about this anymore? Matt, do you want to chime in anything on
You've been very
your
quiet.
audio
I'm
monitoring?
Totally producing.
Okay, so
How's the sound?
Let's all be quiet so you can't hear anything.
Yeah, slide that closer to your face.
Yeah. How about
Did we get rid of the
now?
buzz?
Hmm?
Did we get rid of the buzz?
I mean, I haven't heard it, and I haven't heard any other complaints, so
Yay!
sweet. Okay, so do you have any thoughts on the Ghost of Christmas Past idea, or do you want to?
Do you have any
I-
thoughts on any of these? You haven't chimed
I
in
have
at all.
not
Yeah.
listened to most of these.
Is this
ideas, so
how it
I'm-
is when you guys actually work with
This
them?
is faith in you.
Is it
guys
all
right
you?
Here.
Is Vigil Creative John and Bridget, and just Matt is like, oh, I have a company. Hey.
No, Matt's much more vocal. Believe me.
Yeah, I actually really like this. I think we should live stream all of our meetings going forward. To be
I feel
honest.
like they'd probably be more tame.
Okay, so let's move on to Snowball Fight.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you
So-
thinking for that?
I was thinking that you're drawing cards and playing cards. Like, you could have different types of, attack cards and defense cards, and you gain points for hitting other people. You lose points when you get hit, and you've got basically like a counter going up and down. It's probably even like
It's like paintball,
an
laser
open
tag.
scale in front of you or something. So like people can see who has points where, and then
I had an idea. Sorry. So there were like a handful of games, and like this, I really like this style of game, so I'm completely biased. Where, that's okay. There was a game I played that never ended up coming out, so I don't. But then it was rejiggered and came out, so I don't feel so bad. And then there's another game that I'll actually talk about. Sorry, I have like 50 things like popping in my
They're
brain
all
right now,
good. He's
and
like-
nothing's coming out.
your crown's on too tight, dude.
So there was a game based on the game Hawken, which is like 2 mechs fighting, where it's all live. So you're throwing down cards, and then you have to like stop to resolve. And there's another game I played that's like a boxing match with the same thing, where you're throwing down cards and locations. Like so, it's like a uppercut to the stomach. And so you're doing that and trying to like knock out different locations. So it could be that too, where it's like really fast paced, where it's like multiple people throwing down cards.
Yeah. So you made me a totally different idea popped in my head, but if we did do the snowball fight, you could also have a mechanic of like building up a snow fort in front of you too.
Ooh.
So
Yep.
not only
Yeah.
are you throwing snowballs, you can actually
Have
like, physically,
defense,
like,
too. Yeah, there's
like,
defense
stack
cards.
up cards in front of you, so you could have like maybe like 4 bricks of ice in front of you and
Yeah.
stack those up, and then
That's interesting. That
Okay.
reminds me of I really love Spellcraft, which is a Dungeons and Dragons themed card game that did not live very long. I thought it was much better than Magic, but Magic crushed it in the market, and it didn't exist. But it was 2 players playing against each other, much like Magic, and what you were trying to do was build your realm, and your realm was by laying out 6 territory cards in a triangle, so 1, then 2, then 3.
okay.
But what happened at the same time was you were also attempting to attack your opponent's realm and like raise things. So you're kind of trying to fill in the structure, and it becomes like, you know, your realm is your physical structure. You can't attack the third row if there's rows in front of it, and there's no way to get in unless you had flying creatures that could go over. So that wall kind of made me think of the realms.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah,
you could
'cause I was
have a
thinking-
physical wall in front of you.
Right. Yeah, and there would definitely be like better ranged attacks, or like some snowballs might only be able to like hit the wall versus like
Right.
knocked over it. So
And then you could have like wall repair and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And you could get into like, you could get really kiddie with it
Mhm.
because it's a snowball fight.
exactly.
That was the rough idea there. That
Yeah.
you could probably do that as teams, or you
Mhm.
could do that as like every man for himself. And
I do like that aspect that you can kind of like Red Scare. You can play around with teams or sides
yeah.
and stuff.
yeah,
Product placement.
product placement. Red Scare Redux.
Available this February.
Still available on Backer Kit.
It is.
Still available on Backer Kit. The games physically exist. The shipping is happening. So
Yay.
get out there and get your orders in, because we can't leave Backer Kit up forever.
At some point, you just have to.
Getting locked down soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not right now. So Red Scare Redux, if you like our process here, you're going to love our completed game.
Box you totally cannot read on the stream because it's just this tiny little.
Hold it up to the camera.
It's little and packs a punch, man.
I thought you were producing when you were not contributing to the discussion.
We have a larger version of Librarian and Ha behind you.
We
guys.
do. Yep. Back here, you can see our cardboard cutout from PAX, which we'll probably have with us at PAX East again. And
Maybe, but we can talk about the games that we're making now.
true. Okay. That's enough shameless plug for this half an hour.
Join us at the top of the hour.
Yes.
So anybody have anything more on Snowball Fight that they'd want to toss in there?
No, I think just like if we went with that, making sure that it's not too aggressive. I like my brain immediately went to like throwing like ice balls, and I don't want us to get to that point.
Snowballs with pee in them.
Yeah, like
Yep,
with
yellow
rocks, and then,
snowballs.
like, I don't
yep.
want to go down that road. I just want like nice, like friendly, but still like
No,
obviously
I need
aggressive.
you to draw a kid getting a rock smashed in his face with blood and snow spraying
I don't want
everywhere.
to draw blood.
Don't eat the
I'm
red
not gonna
snow.
lie, I definitely had both of those things
Of course you did.
in mind, but you know, I'm
It
just
depends
going.
on the tone. We
I'm
could
just
go
going
that
back to
way.
my youth.
Of course. It's
In
full of
Lynn.
bolts.
Okay. Next, do we want to talk clear and present danger?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
So, like, what I was thinking was either a tile base, which could just be cards. So everyone's like flipping tiles. But I don't want to make it too much like a match game because that would be stupid.
Have you played any of like Forbidden Island or?
Oh,
Forbidden
yes,
Desert?
yes,
Like,
yeah.
That's what I was picturing.
That's
where,
actually
like, you
really-
can peek and
You can peek and there are
even Burger Brothers.
sides, and you can also move around the board
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
Which I was trying to figure out, like, how can you move around? And that's like
Yeah.
Hidden Island, yeah. I don't like. I was also thinking like there could be like a fun diffusal mechanic. Like you have to diffuse the bombs too. But I hadn't quite gotten like you have to find them, and then when you find them, you have to do things to actually diffuse them. Maybe you need like certain tools to do that, like
Right.
Forbidden Island.
Yeah,
but
and
like
I was thinking like either tool cards or like even I don't know if you're for some reason my brain went to like the colored wires, so you need like a red, yellow, and green card to like diffuse a specific bomb. or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
That. Or, like it's a little more complicated than just having like the right tool.
right.
Is this competitive or a team-based game?
I pictured team based, but it could be competitive. Maybe.
I mean, it could be collaborative
I mean,
too. Where,
Yeah.
like, you're all working together to make sure the factory doesn't.
right,
blow up.
right.
Because I think I like the concept as a collaborative game. Then it can definitely be a scramble. Like we have to find the bomb, but we also need to find the appropriate tools to
Yeah.
defuse the bomb, and we
Right,
have
so
to
you could
get
actually
them
share.
there.
You could also do a Red November style thing. Has anyone played Red November?
No.
So it's a bunch of gnomes.
Oh, the gnome, the
Yeah.
communist gnomes,
Your
right?
communist gnomes.
Yes, I want to get this game.
in a submarine, and you're trying to like keep it afloat as
Yeah.
stuff is like things are catching on fire. You're trying to drink but not get too drunk because then stuff happens. But if it looks like you're losing, any one person can flip and sell out everybody else and just try to escape. So if they escape and the sub sinks, they win. But if the sub doesn't sink, whoever tries to like be a traitor loses.
Okay.
So we could do something like that too, where someone like decides to flip to be like, no, I'm going to help the terrorists. Or you can just everybody work together to try to do this.
Yeah, I like it. So my brain basically went to like, what if we make this even more chaotic and have like dice rolls that then like place other like hazards, like fires, like
Oh, yeah.
that you have to put
Yeah.
in. Like, I don't know how crazy you want things to get, but it would be fun to like have to be scrambling around to like just prevent. I don't know. I'm assuming it's like North Pole, like little elf
Right.
factory that we were trying
Yeah,
to.
that's
Yeah, exactly. That's
That's a
awesome, yeah.
neat idea. Like, so some of these tiles, like, can have rolls that when you first reveal the tile, thinking like a move mechanic, like Burglar Bros. So everybody
I haven't played it,
Burg-
but yeah.
Tile equals room. You move from room to room.
Yeah,
revealing
yeah.
As you go along.
Cool,
Pretty
yeah.
similar to, I guess, like Betrayal as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
But we could have certain tiles that, like, when you flip it, there's a dice roll, and then certain things happen, and maybe rooms catch on fire, and you can't go that way, and then maybe some places are just actually impassable, and you could have like games that literally have no win condition, right? Because you flip this tile and it says 50-50 shot, it catches on fire, and it does catch on fire, and then it stays on fire for X amount of rounds, and you need to get through there to get the tool to disarm the bomb.
Right.
So
Yeah, I think that's good, and maybe we can even add a mechanic where there are ways to get around certain obstacles. Maybe, it's like single-use items. So I have a fire extinguisher, but after I use it, it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can get through this one wall of fire, but not this other wall of fire. So
Can you would you have like elves that have certain skills?
Classes.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm the bomb diffuser. Not I don't know.
we could do that. We
There
could
would
do
be
that.
one of
yeah.
those.
Like
Yeah.
like
But-
in desert, there's certain people who can like move diagonally, or they
Right.
like you're digging up sand, so you can
Yeah.
dig up
Or
more
Burglar
sand.
Bros or
Yeah.
Pandemic or something along
Yeah,
those
exactly,
lines.
yeah.
specific abilities that help you out.
Yeah, even if it's like one extra ability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or you get two
Something
moves instead of
small.
one, or yeah.
Yep, a little speedy elf.
Matt,
Yeah,
do you
like
want
a-
me to produce for a while so you can actually contribute?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Is that it?
I don't know. I heard something about a house catching on fire, and I was like, all right, whatever.
The North Pole catching on fire.
Yeah, and I think
Christmas
there has to be
around
a
the
reason
world
why
is at
all of
stake in
chaos
this
is
game.
happening, but I feel like somebody could be trying to stop Christmas or something like that.
Yeah.
So they've gone after the North Pole.
Yeah.
we don't have to delve into who the bad guy could be. That might not even be the game. We don't need to stir up any controversy. This is a
Exactly.
positive feed, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's good.
okay, so I
I'm just
think
saying,
we-
remember the reason for the season, John. Presents.
yeah, presents.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. We're on the same page.
Dangerous presents.
Dangerous
clearly.
presents.
More votes in there. Everything's getting more votes. I'm sorry,
It-
guys.
It is. We're gonna have to come back and just readdress the
More of
dots
that.
afterwards. So, Christmas song game. Oh, were we? Sorry, were we done with clear and present
Yeah, I think we're
danger?
good.
Yeah, yeah,
I kind of
yeah.
feel like I had
Yeah.
a feel for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Christmas song game. So
Making your own lyrics too.
it'd
That would be a
like-
fun one.
It'd be like you have song title and then what cards that make up like start, middle, and end to lyrics.
Yeah,
and
or
you
maybe,
have to
like-
build up.
Maybe even like, not tone, but like subject matter, like snowman or love, or so you have to build the song around that.
Like, so I think you should tie that into like the song title, though, so you can be like all about the snowman. Or
Oh,
something
yeah,
like
that's
that.
true.
So,
Yeah,
like, that's
yeah.
your
Yep.
that's your concept, and then I think you are gonna have to do like a crafting of like beginning, middle, and end of song, even if it's just like
And you kind of
phrases
do a
that
thing
you're piecing
like
together.
what is it? Is that game The Contender? That you have? Is that what
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
called?
yeah.
Where you're kind of like it's like
Mm-hmm.
one person is the person who has the thing, and then you vote. I guess.
Yeah, because
or-
contender is actually a good one to bring up because like you don't necessarily have to craft 3 cards together. You could just like drop a bomb and just do one, and like that's your song.
Right,
It just fits
right,
so
right,
perfectly
right.
with, like the title.
yeah.
And maybe it's centered around like a holiday dance, and you're trying to get like you're trying to get the most of your song choices on the set list for the evening, so that it's
pretty
like
good.
round
Yeah.
based,
Yeah.
and then maybe there's a way to like make different rounds randomly worth bonus values. So like you have no idea until you're counting points at the end, but those points that you got for round 6, that's triple points this game or something like that.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, and it's somebody just has to, each person gets a turn as you go around, and somebody has to like decide, you know, which of these songs with that lyric in it is the one that I want to play next.
I wonder if coming up with enough lyrics would be time consuming.
That seems like
It sounds like a really fun game idea, and I would totally want to play it, but I just wonder.
But it's also. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, the thing is, it sounds like the mechanics are on the relatively easy side.
Yeah, no,
so
totally.
The majority of the time would be coming up with lyrics.
Right.
I don't know that
Might be fun.
A real concern.
That might be a fun for the feed.
Yeah, we could get suggestions and stuff too. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that basically that for that game?
I think so.
anymore?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put 1, just because we're hesitant about.
Competitive Christmas tree decorating. Okay, so I kind of touched a little bit on what I thought was what I thought for base mechanics on this game, but I think that it could be card collection. I think there's a tree like board that's out there, and that you get points for getting ornaments on a branch, but heavier trees or heavier ornaments can only go to like higher branches that are thicker,
Or maybe like it's balanced, so you can't put too many like heavier ornaments on one side of the tree, or tips or something like that.
Oh yeah,
could be something along those
Yeah.
lines, and then maybe you have to pair ornaments with a hook, and only certain ornaments and hooks go together, and then maybe ornaments have a weight and hooks have a subtraction from the weight. So this ornament is a weight 6, but this hook makes it, you know, a weight 4, and it opens up more branches it could go on. And then there's a point for each ornament, but there's only so many spaces on the tree. So it's not like a go on forever game, you know, once the tree's full, and you got the points that you got. But you could have like ornament breaking mechanics and stuff like that, like
Cat jumping on the tree.
cat.
Well, you should mention that.
It's not funny.
Oh, it was. I was here.
Anybody who has a cat has had that happen to them, and celebrates Christmas.
I haven't until I have old ass cats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My young ass cats used to climb the tree.
Yeah, no. We came home the other night to
Got a
our
lot of ass cats.
They are like ass.
They may not have done it. We weren't here. It could have been a ghost.
That's true. The tree might have been protesting Christmas.
The
and
guy
threw itself
who was
to
up in
ground.
he didn't like that his rocking chair got moved to the office.
Well, I need somewhere comfortable to work.
Well,
so I'm
and he
sorry.
needed to knock over our Christmas tree. I mean,
Fair's fair. Does anyone else have any thoughts or things to add to?
My concern with that would be the print and play of it. I think that would be a rough thing to do, print and play, just because how big's the tree going to be? How easy is it going to be to like put things down and pick them up, like when you're just printing them off the printer? That would be my one caveat.
Yeah, I think you could get away with that by using ornament markers. Like you keep your actual ornaments that you hang with you, and you put a marker on a spot on the tree. But I see what you're saying.
Oh, I was thinking, I don't know why. Like the whole time I was thinking everybody has their own tree. And is trying, like you have like X amount of slots
Yeah,
per
so it's like in the
tree.
middle and-
And so you're trying to balance your own tree and make it so maybe like you can have a sabotage mechanic there too, where like maybe there's something where you can put an ornament on someone else's tree and it's a garbage ornament or it's a heavy ornament that's going to cause their tree to tip.
I like that.
So one thing that I would add for certain people following the stream is, so it was when we were setting up our Christmas tree. I mean, first there was the ornaments my sister and I had to put up first every year, which were these Muppet ornaments. But then as my mom grew our collection of ornaments, I would start making scenes on the tree with like the Star Wars characters having battles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there could potentially be some mechanic where if you set ornaments near each other, you get like a bonus
Oh, like
for that.
themed ornaments for
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
them near. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I feel like if we're gonna do that, like the personal trees make a little more sense, but then like there are ways to sabotage instead of like all trying to pull into the middle tree. That feels a little more.
Could also do a thing
Difficult.
like, I don't know if you guys used to do this, but we would have like the older, uglier ornaments, and we would try to put those like that you needed them to fill the tree, but you wanted them like towards the back,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
put like the
yeah.
flashiest, nicest ones up front.
Right.
So maybe like they can even each ornament can have like it's got an ugly icon, or it's got a new fancy icon on it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that they have points, but like where they're positioned also. Man, that might be too complicated. Never mind. Oh, no.
Not a bad thought though. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have one more left to discuss, right? Which was the
Crafting game.
The crafting game. I really liked your pitch on it. I thought it gave a real neat mechanic, like, or a real neat visual, like this angry taskmaster Santa.
Yeah.
It's just like forcing these.
Sweatshop though.
Yeah.
And like the little the one whose fingers hurt in what is it?
My fingers hurt.
Happy Gilmore.
Now your back's gonna hurt.
Guys, let's just put Happy Gilmore for the next 24 hours.
Nice.
Shampoo is better.
Like, very taskmaster Santa like comes in every couple rounds or like after a round, however long it is, and you're just frantically trying to craft as many toys as possible. There could be some sabotage with it too, for sure. And then like
Yeah.
certain elves could have certain abilities. So like maybe you're like somebody's better at making trains or like better at making bears than other ones. So those are easier to build. Like I think there would have to be some. And it's not really deck building, but you're just collecting cards and then trying to craft things. Yes.
Yeah, so I could see it as two ways. One, I could see it as competitive, where you're trying to not be the worst. Is that Doofus?
Yeah.
Connects.
Oh, it's
Next.
Connects.
Speaking of the worst. So you're trying to like not be that worst one, and you could do it like based on rounds or something like that, and it's last man standing kind of
Yeah.
thing. Or I could see it as competitive, where cooperative, where the team's trying to not like they
Yeah.
want to go home.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yep.
It's a Christmas rush.
Watch him. Watch him. Watch him.
Yeah. Just make sure it doesn't jump up on
Next
that.
is
yeah,
gonna
Kid
produce.
Next.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like we basically need to figure out different toy types, like what components we need for those types.
That'd be good because you can even do like wooden toy or like
Yeah.
electronic toy, and yeah.
And if you go the competitive route, it could be like there's only a certain pool of toys to work from. There could be mechanics where you get to give toys to other people to build, and there might be some toys that are real duds, like really time consuming and tough to finish kind of stuff.
So that actually made me think it would be interesting to almost do like a conveyor belt kind of gameplay, where like either the pieces are like and maybe it's just like the recipe for the toy is coming down the conveyor belt, so you have to take the next one. So maybe there's a mechanic where you could skip over the one that's at the end of the conveyor belt, or you could swap the order. Christopher and I love
interesting.
playing. He's gonna kill me for not remembering. We played it with you guys. It's the gangster families that are
Oh yeah, that game was so
trying to kill
fun.
each other off. So like you have basically
was
like
that?
your lineup of people that you're trying to kill. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, where you have your conveyor belts of toys that are like coming down the line, like you have to build them like a I Love Lucy
That's
kind of
interesting.
situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it starts falling into a discard pile, and then
Right.
it gets shuffled, and
So
it
like
comes
maybe you
back
could even
through.
pull from the discard pile too. So if there was something that fell in, like you could like dive in and
Pull
grab
out of
it
the
if you
bucket
want
or
to.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of directions we could go with that one.
Put a couple stickers on it.
Everybody gets a sticker. All right. So now that we've gone through those, are there any ones that like we're not feeling super hot about?
John,
I think
Now we have to pay ESPN/Disney.
turn the volume down.
You know, you usually yell at me for the opposite.
so. I think the one that's sticking out to me obviously is like the Secret Krampus, because I still don't think we have like good gameplay for that.
Yeah, that one, like, mechanics-wise, concept, I like it. Mechanics, I feel like I'd be here for the next 5 hours scratching my head on what is this game.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of us, like, it would be a lot of us playing half games, being like, this isn't working, scrap it, come up with something else.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull that down.
Okay.
Okay.
Put it in the pile of, we should just make a game every Christmas,
I
because
know.
we have enough ideas at
So
this
weird.
point.
Okay.
Well, if this goes well enough, maybe we will do this annually.
Okay, so any other ones that, like, I would say I'm not super hot about the Christmas tree one because I really don't want to craft ornaments for the next like 20 hours
Fair.
or so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
I think you get that vote.
Yeah. So I think Clear and Present Danger I like because it's I think the only cooperative one we have on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yes. Yeah, because even if there are teams with Snowball Fight, it's still competitive.
Right.
And I'm gonna give a negative vote to the Yankee Swap one. Just because I really feel like that the first person has such an advantage is gonna be such a tough mechanic that I feel like fixing it involves making something that's not really a Yankee
Yeah,
swap.
exactly.
and
It's
then
also-
too much of a departure.
we've lost our theme.
It's also the idea that I looked up and has been done before.
Okay. Yeah. No, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Specifically
It's a
with
pretty
cards, and
common
it's
concept.
it's a common concept. There were like 2 different ones.
Yeah.
Our ideas were already kind of different, but like
Yeah. We should do something unique.
yeah.
Okay.
Quinn, there's no chance that you brought an XLR to 8th Jack, is there? Alright.
Nope, sorry.
Yeah, I think so.
What's an XLR to 8th Jack?
Do tell.
Audio stuff.
Well, then I'm
if you
not
need
gonna help
something,
you.
we could bribe Christopher to bring us things because he probably has them.
I can also run over to my apartment too if we need to. We've got enough time.
What's the issue?
I was just gonna try. I have a well. Let's keep going on with game things.
All right.
We'll
No,
look
let's
at
talk
this.
about this now. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, we have a co-op game. Ghost of Christmas Past.
I love the concept. Like
Yeah.
like
Me
once
too,
we started
yeah.
getting into that, I really loved it. I have some minor concerns that it might be like tough mechanic wise, but it hooked me enough that like
Yeah.
I'd be willing to take a crack at it.
And I like that we essentially have a title for it. Like it's definitely a concept that like people immediately would gravitate towards. I think, especially with like
Yeah.
everybody loves Scrooge and like,
Right.
Christmas.
Absolutely.
okay. So yeah, we'll keep that.
Christmas song game.
I'm just worried about having to constantly churn out like
Here-
content for this.
Here's my
Yeah.
thing is I think that makes for a very boring feed.
Yeah.
That too, yeah.
I don't think that there's a lot of insight into the mechanics. We're largely going to steal mechanics from existing games, and then it's just going to be a content churn for 24
Yeah.
hours.
Yep.
And while I think it'd be a really fun game to play, and it
Yep.
might be something that we even decide to tackle and like take time throwing content in over time,
Right.
I have some real concern about
Yeah.
it
just
being a
24
24-hour game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair.
I agree. Okay. Into the idea pile. Okay. So, and we haven't talked about the snowball fight yet.
I like it. I think it's quick. Like I feel like that game would be quick, which would kind of be in the spirit of a game jam game, which I like.
It feels like a very accomplishable 20 of the 4 left on the board. It feels like the most accomplishable 24-hour game. With that said, I think if I had these 4 games in front of me,
Yeah.
it's probably the one that I'm least likely to want to play.
I
Agreed.
agree.
Yeah,
And like, I honestly, I want to do something that we can do in 24 hours, but I don't think Snowball Fight is going to push us enough. Like, I want us to like.
This feels
be
like an easy
engaged.
24
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like we can. I think we
Yeah.
can pull that off.
There's not going to be fist fights in the middle of the night over the snowball game.
Exactly.
Right.
And I want to see fist
We need some blood.
Okay. So yeah, I really like that idea, but that's gonna be
No, the idea is great. Yeah.
We need blood that Danielle isn't going to draw.
yeah.
So we need real blood.
Real. Well, I need inspiration, and then I can draw it.
Give me a cat.
Okay, so
Stop it.
we're now left with
You're gonna get us in trouble with the
Crafting.
Humane Society people.
I don't think so because I'm just joking. Whereas we have actually rescued half a dozen cats. So, okay, that has nothing to do with games, though.
So we're left with like crafting game. I really like the conveyor belt idea now.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like frantically trying to craft things before Santa shows up. We have the co-op where like everybody's working together to just like contain the chaos. And then the Ghost of Christmas Past where you're basically just churning through crappy people and trying to, I don't know, make the world a better place.
Now, this burn down process is exciting because
Yeah.
I'm both excited to make mechanics for all of these and to play all of these. So
Yeah.
voting
Yeah.
from here is going to be tough.
Yep. I agree.
And maybe after we have a chance to
Fix the crappy people.
fix the crappy,
Fix the crappy people. Yeah.
Which might be a theme that people really want to do right now.
Right, you know, it's holiday, but it's also modern.
I like all three of these.
I know, I do too.
Okay.
Matt, we haven't talked to you in a while. Do you have any thoughts? Do you want the pitches again?
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with any of these games. So
It's fine.
You have no idea what's
Great.
going on with any of these games.
You need to
Spoken
help
like a
us,
true
Matt.
producer.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the hurdles that we can see with each game.
Yeah.
Maybe we can help ourselves out a little bit by doubling back and maybe coming to a realization that some of these we really like, but they're not really 24-hour games. We just didn't eliminate them earlier because we really liked them.
I'm worried about Ghosts of Christmas Past being that. Like, that's the one where I feel like the other well,
Crafting was the one I actually had that concern about.
I was
Yeah,
going to
I
double
did too.
back where I was like actually crafting as well because we'll have to produce like a bunch of cards, like an entire card set for both of those,
my-
or some sort of like pool of things, like pool of people or pool of pieces to put together.
And I feel like that game, we're going to lose time on debating whether it is co-op or competitive.
Yeah.
Because the other two, we have a clear direction on.
Yeah.
I agree.
And that one, the direction is still, we could do a co-op, we could do competitive, and I'm a little concerned about a time sink of us thinking about two different modes for the same game if we went that way.
Yep. No, I think that one just has a lot of variables too, because you're dealing with recipes that like you're crafting things together. You have like the variable like Santa coming in. What does that mean? Are people getting kicked out? Like I do think that it's more than just the 24-hour.
Right, and there's a real concern that we could get it right and just not have enough general content.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
We got it working, but we can only build teddy bears and trains, and we need,
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That's not what kids want. Just teddy bears and trains.
That's all there is for toys.
That's
right?
all. Yeah, that's
I
all.
don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So
that's all
we're-
my kids want.
Yeah.
Because they're good kids. Good wholesome kids you've made.
Be good kids, teddy bears and trains all the way.
Okay.
Okay, so we're down to two here.
So to talk about like variables for Ghosts of Christmas Past, what I'm thinking is basically like we have a set of, I don't know, at most like 10 different icons that are representing like phases of people's lives. So you have like the teddy bear for like childhood. You have like, I don't know, something to represent like very infant time, childhood,
Right.
teenage years all
Yeah.
the way through life. So each person has a combo of like 3 of those. So you have to find memories of those 3 phases to then like kind of jar them out of their crappiness.
Right.
And then make them better people.
Right.
So if we keep the variables low enough, I think that's pretty doable because then you're just creating a bunch of people with different combinations of the same set. And then it's just a matter of like what we want to put on the cards for the memories. It's a lot of art to generate, but I do think like we can cheat a little bit and grab existing art just for like the playthrough.
I feel like we also don't have to completely like if we need more art later.
Yeah, we can write them out too. We don't necessarily need the full art. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know if anybody else had like different mechanics that they were thinking for that one.
That seems about right. I think the only variation that I had in my mind from what you had described was I envisioned some people being worse than others.
Yeah.
some people being I envision some people that are layups and low points.
Yep.
I envision some people that are difficult and low points because I'm looking at two different pieces. One is the ghosts that they have in their past, and the other is how much good they'll do in the world, right?
Yep.
Like Scrooge did a lot of good in the world, and I think we can have a balance of all four combinations where you would have some people that a little bad and they'll do a little good. Some people a lot of bad, but they'll do a lot of good. Some people are a lot of bad and they'll do a little good, and you don't want those guys.
Yep.
And then some people are a little bad and they'll do a lot of good, and you really want those. And I think maybe you flip out a person each round. We could do like a round mechanic where you flip out a new person each round, and you've got a who gets to pick first marker that moves around the table.
Yep.
And each round a new person gets to pick first, and like, you know, it's the most good that you can cause in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like
So-
that.
Yeah, I was
But,
thinking.
like, difficulty wise too, you like I think it should be easy enough to just increase the amount of like memories you have to find for that person. So like
Right,
a
exactly.
very bad person needs a lot of memories, but you'll get those extra points for fulfilling that one.
And we could do it based on either like types of shitty things they could have done, and that could be our icon set, or it could be phases of life, and that could be the icon set. So it could just be that you have to find them like memories from, you know, this particular person had memories from their teenage years and their 40s and their 50s that made them a shitty person, and you have
That
to
actually-
revisit those.
That fits like really well into the Christmas Carol thing too,
Yeah,
because it's
absolutely.
like past childhood, present, you know, middle age, future, old age and death.
Yeah, we could even
So-
like future is definitely something we could have in
Future
the pool,
could
too.
absolutely be some
Like
of those
prophecies
icons
that you're showing people.
Yep, and you could have a couple of them that are future things, and
I really like that. I
Yeah.
think it's like a really good theme for us too. Oh.
yeah, I like it too.
I dig it.
Let's talk about clear and present danger.
Yeah.
Because bombs are also fun.
Bombs are also fun. Now,
Defusing bombs are fun.
I love co-op games.
I do too.
Yeah, me too.
And that's the thing that clear and present danger and what we've talked about really jumps out with for me is that you don't have to be as adversarial. It's us versus the chances, and like those types of games are always more fun to play. At least for me, I love gathering around and working as a team. That's why the game that we have in beta, which is not going to be getting mentioned right now, or alpha, it's not even in beta yet. If you're a beta backer out there and you're listening to us, you haven't missed your game. The game's just not in beta yet. It's in alpha. They're coming very soon. But I love that kind of stuff, and I'm totally seeing like a tile set game where you have to scramble through the factory and find stuff and
I'm just thinking of like sick reindeers that you have to fix too.
right.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it's-
there are so many like cool and thematic things you could
Yeah.
hide behind these tiles, and it feels like it would be an incredibly fun game to play. The mechanics actually would probably be pretty easy.
Yeah.
I think the depth is going to come in if we want to have classes, if we want to have different elves that we can be, like, you know, the crafter elf and the strongman elf and the manager elf.
Right. Which I think will like if we go with that idea, I think those types will come out as we start playing through that too. So I think
Yeah.
that's
Right.
going to give us a little like prolonged creativity as we're like going through that concept.
I was thinking
Right.
too, we can scale depth with that one because if we come up with like X amount of things like bombs, sick reindeer,
Right.
we can place them under tiles so
Yep.
they get flipped but then we can have like a pool of them. So if we're like, well, we can add more complexity as we're going, we can scale it up, add more things, add new things.
Yeah.
And then that refreshes the game too because every game isn't the same. You don't have the same 4 things to do every game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's randomized.
Yeah, it changes it up, but also like just thinking of like if you magical day you sell this game, you can apply different difficulty levels for people. So if they want to play a really hard game, like
Yep.
you give them
Change the grid size.
Yep.
Bigger,
Yeah, exactly.
bigger grid is more to
yeah,
search
more
through.
hazards. Yeah.
And that also scales for people that way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's a game where if you have a big enough table and enough people and enough stuff put into it, that it scales up to a 8-person full squad mad dash around the whole factory game, and you
Right.
could get a floor concept in there where you have to find the stairs to get up to the second floor.
Yeah. So talking about this thing, these two together, I would lean towards co-op because we haven't really done that too much yet. Not talking about other things, but Christmas Pass also kind of sounds like a Red Scare scenario where like you're fulfilling objectives, and I do want I would think we want to
Branch out and try something different.
Yeah, because haven't done tile gameplay.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
a tile
Yeah.
game seems fun.
Yeah.
and I think that's something that prolongs fun throughout the night too. Where I think
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna get to a point where all right, we figured out.
what that is, and
Yeah.
it becomes churning.
Yeah,
Right.
and I really really like that idea, but I think
I
we
did
want to
too,
make sure
yeah.
that we're excited about it all
Well,
Right.
throughout the night.
it's going to go on the top of the discard stack, so
Yeah.
it's going to be the first one we look at when we revisit it. But
Well, I think what should happen is you guys should just rebrand as a Christmas game company, and now you have ideas for 7
Great.
years.
no, you
Easy.
know what's interesting? I was talking to a coworker of mine who's really into board games and stuff, and I talked to him about Red Scare and oh no, you know what? This was a different conversation. I was actually talking with Caleb, who's a friend of the castle,
Oh, yes, yes.
when we were there for their charity stream last month, I think it was, and he was talking about. I talked to him a little bit about the game that we have in alpha, and I talked to him a little bit about a lot about Red Scare and what was going on, and he had done early demos with that, and he had noted that as a game company we seem to be very dedicated to theme first, to feels in the game, and I agreed with and really liked that because a good theme in a game really grabs you.
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah.
So clear and present danger.
Are we good at that?
Yeah, all right.
Now,
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Thank
Thanks,
you
Matt.
So much. What
So-
a great idea, Matt.
thanks for chipping in.
We can't keep calling it this for now,
we
but just a reminder, we gotta come up with a different name at some point.
It's such a good name.
I know, right? I was like, ha 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 ha
And
ha.
everything.
I was telling Eileen, I was like, and she's like, yeah, it's
It's
fine.
like present and accounted for. I don't know.
Present
we need
accounted
to use
for.
present in some way. Yeah.
I'll think about this.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So clear and present danger, but
Translucent and present danger.
You know, I am not opposed to an incredibly on-the-nose punny renaming of it, because then everybody would know exactly what we meant and
Yeah.
understand exactly why we couldn't. and I think that would be okay.
okay. So I'm sure something will come to us in the wee hours of the night. Great.
Bad puns especially. Okay, I am going to put us back on the silent card for a second so I can futz with audio, but it should just be like a moment. So we'll be right back.
Right back.
Back.
Right
Hey, look, the button worked that time.
Oh, hey.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. We're like an hour and a half into this thing, so
Not
Nice.
bad, not bad.
We have a game idea.
Yeah.
For those just tuning in.
so yeah. Actually, what is the game that we're making?
Jesus.
Now that Matt's actually paying attention.
Don't worry, it won't be for long.
Yeah, no, I know. So the title is not going to be Clear and Present Danger, but we're sticking with that for now until we get a magical brainstorm. Yes. Now that Quentin's back.
Reindeer in present danger.
Yes.
All right. Write that on the board.
I'll take any other options.
Yeah,
too,
do you
but-
want to explain? I'll write that up so I don't forget.
So, are we just going over the game
You're
again?
basically pitching it to Matt because he hasn't been
Because Matt hasn't been paying attention.
And now I'm caught in the wires like a cat.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, so did the microphone thing not work out?
No. So I'm stealing your microphone for now because I wasn't expecting you to be back yet.
Thief!
Stop.
See, I would normally
thank-
take the hat off my head.
Thank God Bridget's used to dealing with small children.
Yeah.
That's true.
There you go.
The,
Thanks,
the worst
Bridget.
part was it kept getting more and more tangled.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah. All right, so sell me on this game. I want to be interested in it. What is it?
you are Santa and his elves.
Okay.
It's I think we're leaning towards tile based co-op game where someone is trying to stop Christmas by sabotaging presents by putting bombs in them. You have to defuse them, or Danielle had the idea of like reindeers getting sick, like someone poisoning the reindeers, and you have to
General chaos.
just general chaos. Stuff's popping off in the workshop. There are fires that you need to get around, cave-ins, other crazy stuff.
So it's in the workshop that
In the-
someone's trying
There's
to
a war on
sabotage.
Christmas.
There's a war on Christmas.
How very topical of you all. So is Starbucks behind it then?
There's red cups.
Yeah, it's one of the obstacles. Just red cups, plain red cups.
Tile.
Cool. All right. Make
Yeah,
a
you
game.
talk through like each elf potentially has like a
Oh,
different
yes,
role or
yes.
skill. So like as a specific elf, you might be like the speedy elf that's able to kind of like jump around the tiles faster. Like
Okay, so we've got two different mechanic pieces that we're going to have to look at a high level. One is the tiles, the actual rooms,
Yep.
and the other is the elves, the characters you play. So I guess we got to brainstorm about those separately, about what different types there could be, and mechanics we could have with them.
And how to lay them out. Like
How to lay
how
them
does
out.
that work? Is it standardized, or are there different layouts that we come up with, or is it randomized?
Yeah. So, which one do we want to tackle first? Tiles or elves?
Maybe we should do the tiles first, because I think that would dictate the elves' abilities. Probably maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, it can kind of go back and forth. So, I think that, like we've already talked about, a room that has fire.
I just want to throw in there that CB says the War on Christmas is a good name.
oh jeez. Thank you.
It's not a bad name.
It really isn't.
I like reindeer in present danger as well, though.
So in other,
I obviously like it
so I'm
because I came
also
up with
getting. I don't know if he also said this in the chat, but he said I also like the idea of this game being very visually serious. Basically like an action movie or gritty reboot, pointy-eared elves wearing leather in a dark and smoky toy factory.
So I pictured I was picturing, and I don't want to like completely implant ideas, but I was picturing like an action movie poster with like ripped Santa with sleeves ripped off, holding a dead or dying elf in his hands.
like explosion in the background.
Explosion in the
with,
background.
Like elves like flying.
Yeah,
off,
Mrs.
like-
Claus just has like an Uzi and is like pumping lead into something.
I do want to implant ideas.
Yes.
Have you seen Punisher?
No.
Oh, it's so
Sorry.
good.
Okay,
I know,
so
I know.
Product placement.
no art until you go watch it. 13
You have time.
episodes.
It's
You have
only-
time. It's
you
only
have
8
time.
episodes.
It's only 8 hours of your life.
Oh, we have plenty of time for that. We have 24 hours. guys.
I think we have
Actually,
like 20.
13 episodes.
Oh
Oh,
God.
13. Oh.
Yeah, I think it's
I can
13
sketch while I
episodes.
watch.
All right,
It's fine.
We could just turn this stream into playing Punisher for the world, and we would be
Totally legal.
Yeah,
totally
absolutely.
legal, totally legal, right? Because that's how they get
If
around.
there are
that
any
stuff.
Twitch moderators in here, we are not going to do that. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, no, that I'm just an ass. You'll get used to it because you'll keep watching because we're gonna make an amazing game. Okay, so tiles.
Yes.
They can contain. So do we have?
I mean, do you just want to write down like hazards? I think we have a handful of those, so, like diffusing bombs, fires.
So we can have bombs.
Yep.
We can have fires. We can have
Poison.
walls. We could have.
Yeah, poison. Well, yeah. Do we want to maybe hazards might be different than like goals? So like the bombs would be a goal that you need to, or like a problem, and like the hazards are more things that are blocking your way on the map.
Right. So
So we might
the
want to
goal
just
is
differentiate
defuse
those.
the bomb, right?
Is there? Yeah. Are we saying there's one bomb, multiple?
I like the
bombs?
idea of like multiple goals.
Yeah.
I think it can
That's-
scale
I agree.
based on players.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because it's saying diffuse 6 bombs to 2 players might be an impossible task
Right.
or
Yep.
easy task. I don't know. We still have to figure
Yep.
out the numbers, but
So we're saying like diffusing bombs for right now is like our main goal. X amount of bombs is fine,
right.
depending on difficulty. So that's a goal. Okay.
Do you have a lot of these?
Huh? Oh yeah, I got plenty. Come on. We have multiple colors. We're onto orange. I have blue.
She came prepared.
Come on. Yeah, we're. Okay, so I guess start listing out hazards. So we're saying fire.
Yeah, fires.
Poison ones. Like, and I would say like, are we saying like poison?
Well, maybe
reindeer,
poison's like a sub card, like we're like an action card. I don't know. if
What?
we're
Oh, what
doing-
about rabid reindeer? Maybe they can also roam, like hazards that move.
Yeah, I'm just writing down all ideas. So
Yeah.
I just keep.
It could be like a broken steam pipe.
Broken steam pipe, avalanche.
runaway sleigh?
Iced over room.
All right, let's slow down a second to
Yeah.
let Danielle catch up.
Right faster. Just kidding. You're doing marvelous.
Avalanche. Sorry. What else we got?
Iced over room or like iced room.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one, yeah.
Blizzard.
I would put blizzard and avalanche, like maybe.
Oh, yeah,
it
sorry.
was- yeah, that's okay.
You're right.
I can start probably putting them on the board if you want to. Do we know what we're gonna say for like poison? I feel like just a bottle of poison doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe that would be like an action card or like,
It's a whole
you know.
mechanic, man.
Sorry.
What about? It could be something like
Like tear gas or something that they run into. So, like,
Yeah, that might be
you,
something better.
encounter.
it could be like a garage where like the antifreeze has been spilled all over the place or something like that.
Well, yeah,
Although
it-
that kind of leads more towards poisoned reindeers because
Well, I thought that was one of the
I was-
concepts they were talking about.
yeah.
That was like one of the potential like goal concepts was curing.
But from
poison.
somebody with a animal medical background, antifreeze will just kill them. It will not make them sick. It will kill them.
But they're magic.
It doesn't matter. It's like deadly. Like a little tiny lick will kill a reindeer.
Yeah, but can real reindeer fly?
probably
Do
yes.
they have
Oh.
immunity to antifreeze?
Yeah.
specifically?
Santa bred them to have immunity.
But then it wouldn't poison them. So let's move on.
So if someone's having a war on Christmas, could it be then like booby trap type stuff? Like there'd be
Yeah.
like a tripwire.
Micro machines on the floor.
Oh, so you just want to recreate Home Alone now?
Or like down. It'll be like downed electric wires, but it's like Christmas light wires.
Ooh, yeah.
Jamaica here says trapped in an escape room, but that's kind of like the general concept, right? Is you're
Yeah.
essentially in
Pretty
an
much,
escape
yeah.
room with all these things up on you.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
frantically trying to run around, making sure that
Whoop.
the place doesn't blow up or catch on fire.
Diffusing stuff
Well,
while
'cause I think, like, other
avoiding.
things like fire, like after certain turns, it spreads. Like I think that's definitely a cool mechanic we can include.
Right,
So like
right.
now that we have some hazards, we can start thinking about like other things they can do. But I still think like churning through a couple more ideas for hazards would be good.
Fan room. I don't. What?
It's breezy in here.
Santa's
an
Justin
idea.
Bieber room.
No, I'm thinking more along the lines of like
Like an industrial
the fan
fan.
could chop you to pieces.
Yeah.
Like Willy Wonka and the
Like
Chocolate
Willy-
Factory.
Like Willy Wonka's here.
Or just that swinging axe gauntlet from Galaxy Quest.
What other things would they have in Santa's factory that could be dangerous? Right? Like, could it like he has an electronics room, obviously.
Broken toys,
Right.
like, glass.
Exploding
Yeah.
cell phones.
Oh, exploding batteries would be pretty good.
Ooh, yeah, like the
Broken
battery
toys.
room.
Yeah.
CB
But they've
mentioned
all
ducks.
Ducks.
Not
Like
ducks,
ducks.
like ducks, like
Ducks would be cool,
Die Hard.
Like Die Hard ducks,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh man, that might be like a good.
That's a good mechanic, so you can get from like one place to another.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would put that in
Movement.
elves.
Yeah.
Because that might be like either like.
Well, so I think like these are basically hazards, and like we're gonna have general tiles. I think.
Yeah, and then elves,
so
and then.
Probably need a few.
Or I guess
good
the ducks,
tiles
yeah, can
too,
go
right?
like, yeah, that's a
like
good point.
tile
Yeah.
types. So
Like there has to be a mechanic where you're collecting. Do we need there to be? You need certain items to defuse a bomb.
I think so.
I think.
So we
yeah.
need some sort of like item card collection thing that happens, some mechanic
So-
around that as well, or
Which
we
could
need.
be involved with like the tiles, so you're flipping over tiles to find things to then.
Yeah,
defuse
exactly.
the
So
Yeah.
bombs.
so different tiles. When you solve the room, you get cards.
Right.
Getting cards get you the pieces you need to defuse the different bombs. And then we could have a variety of bombs that you just shuffle the bombs and blindly put X amount in, but you don't know which ones you're getting, which items you're gonna need until
Yeah,
you reveal
yeah.
them.
I like that too because like there might be situations where like you see what item is on the tile and you're like, look, we're not even gonna deal with this hazard right now. Like I
Right.
really want to get that item.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Let's deal with that first to get this item. That could actually have some cool chain reactions because then you could essentially be looking at different tiles and be like, we need to do this one first to get that item to then solve this problem to get that item. So it's not just like, I think it adds a little more than just like putting out fires essentially. You're
Yeah.
trying to put them out in a correct order to then, I don't know, get rid of the other things. Cool. I like it.
That's it.
So, sorry. So then, just based on what you said, would there potentially then be matching things that you would need to put in per game? Because you talk about getting one item to deal with one thing. So, like, is the lead pipe going to help you deal with the antifreeze, or do you need to pull out like two specific things that go together?
I guess it depends on like how we.
Yeah.
If we do the thing where it's randomized, that might be too hard to balance. But if not, then yes, I think that would be a cool way to go
Yeah.
for sure.
You could also go with a mix where some require a combination, some require single item.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Maybe
then-
some stuff is just always out on the board, and then there's like rotating secondary things or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's a good thing to note. What else? Is we can jump over to elves too.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Speedy
Yeah.
elves seem like pretty
Yeah,
obvious.
so we
one.
could have a speedy one.
I like the like John McClane style. Oh no.
No.
The John McClane style can crawl through ducks elf, so maybe only one of them can actually go through the ducks.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Oh, the animal trainer elf, because he can get the reindeer to
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah,
move.
and like he could deal with rabid reindeer or
Yeah, he
something.
could do, yeah, or the sick reindeer or whatever.
So like duct user.
duct user.
Does John McClane have an H in it?
I think it's just MCCLANE.
Oh.
Remind me 20 something
Yeah,
hours
I
from
think
now. We're away from the camera to tell you the story. What happened at the parade today?
Okay.
So then we have like your animal specialist.
It's about the guy who pulled the float.
Cool.
I think you definitely need like a bomb specialist.
Maybe like an inventor slash like tech. Oh no, this isn't gonna work.
Gotta change the order.
It's like sticking. I think it's sticking them to each other. That's killing.
We have a what you call it, tape. scotch tape. Need it.
You could have a lucky one that gets like some sort of, gets
Reroll
a couple
or-
of rerolls
yeah.
a game or something like that.
There was something. Oh, like inventor.
Like technician or inventor. Yeah, but that could be the bomb specialist.
Yeah, the
too.
bomb specialist. Yeah.
Could just be that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the tech background.
Yeah,
The tech background.
I like
He went to MIT.
I like the direction of technical over bomb specialist
Right, yeah,
because I don't
exactly.
know why there would be a bomb specialist in Santa's
This
workshop.
happens a lot.
But I do know why there'd be like an electronics or tech specialist in
Yeah,
Santa's
exactly.
workshop.
Yeah.
And maybe what they get is like either some sort of mechanic where when they draw a card, they draw 2 cards, pick one and put the one on the
Yeah,
bottom.
Yeah.
or
Oh, that'd be
they-
neat. Yeah.
They get the ability to like wild card where they can discard any card to take something from the discard pile
Right.
into their hand. So they could work with tools. The lucky one could work with re-rolls. The animal specialist would have bonuses when dealing with reindeer if that's a mechanic that we keep in the game.
Could also have other hazards like like the abominable snowman or something like that too. That the animal specialist could also.
A speedy one, yeah, more movement. I think if ducks are going to be tiles, then everybody should be able to use them, but maybe that duck user gets to use them without spending a move or
I was-
something like that.
That would work. Or I was thinking something
Oh,
like.
yeah, Donald Snowman. Like
Hells
that.
yeah.
Guys, can you get a little brighter in here?
Do it. Hey! I was thinking something like Clue, where you have the secret passages and that's how the ducks work, maybe.
Right, yeah.
Like maybe
That's
like
what I
some
was thinking.
tiles have ducks on them so they can go to like either certain other ducks or any other ducked, so then the duck user is the only one who can actually like crawl through to like get to the other side of the map. So you might want to like when you're working together, you're like, oh, you should go through that duct and get way over there to get that thing we need in that room that's like blocked by a fire or something.
So yeah, so I think like we might need to have everybody be able to use the ducks though, because like
Oh.
what if you don't choose. the
That's
ducks
my
either?
issue.
But maybe-
is that becomes a why would you ever not have
Maybe
that
you can,
character
like,
in the
craft
game?
ducks or something.
Maybe.
Like
Or maybe like he just has like another extreme negative attribute that would be like, well, it's not worth doing this.
I think the ability, if you make it so that everybody but that user has to spend a move
Yeah.
or 2 to go
Right.
through the
Yeah,
duct,
maybe
and
that
they
works,
just
yeah.
get to do it, with impunity,
That
then
works,
like
yeah.
that might be enough.
Or maybe there's like a roll to see if you get stuck in the duct, but this guy can just freely move.
Could be
Or
that.
maybe you lose a turn if like you get stuck.
Yes. Could be something like that you have to roll your way through
Yeah,
the duct and they have an easier time doing it or don't have to roll. God, only having 5 classes bothers me. So what other
Yeah.
kind of elves could Santa have, right? He's got a technician specialist. Do we have 2 different types? Like, do we have technical tools where there's things like wires and then we have more
Yeah, like
physical
a-
tools that are like hammers and screwdrivers?
Yeah,
I,
like-
I like the idea of like keeping them within the classes of like elves making toys. So like
Mm-hmm.
you do have like the electronics wizard, and then like you have the
But you got the
hand
guy that builds
tools.
bikes.
Like a
right?
carpenter elf for
Yeah.
something.
So, like,
maybe
yeah.
this is
Same
more
idea
stuff.
as the inventor, but you've got 2, right?
Right.
One that does electronics toys and one that does like physical toys.
Yeah, like wood and yeah.
Exactly.
He's got a hammer.
Would you have some sort of
Fall again.
crafting specialist or like someone that works in shipping?
Ooh,
Or-
shipping,
or
like, shipping or
like
logistics is
shipping
good. Yeah.
gift wrapping or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But like maybe they are able to move tools across the board more easily. Like
I like the idea of a crafting, like the gift wrapping elf. Maybe having insight, like there are random presents. Some of them have the tools you need. Some of them have bombs, and
Yeah, being able to peek under tiles.
Yeah,
I think is, like,
maybe-
a mechanic that we do need.
yeah,
so.
and maybe
Ooh.
that's them. Maybe that's the gift wrapping elf.
They get like a peek mechanic.
Yeah.
Because they know how to undo the gift wrapping.
Yep.
I like
Right.
that.
Yep.
Because who didn't do that as a kid, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we're saying shipping can easily move tools around. Gift wrapping it will be different.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
gonna be more.
Right? Because let's say something like you have to trade tools to, and let's say you have to be in adjacent squares.
Right.
But shipping can do it 2 squares or something like that. So 2 tiles away, they can trade a tool.
Right.
Or take a tool.
And then gift wrapper.
Gift
So
wrapper
they
has
can
like a
peek.
peek mechanic. So they can
can
look into the
wrap it
tile and see what it is and then wrap it back up real quick. Put a little scotch tape on it.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. I see 8 classes there.
I used to do that with my presents when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
CB suggested that the John McClane elf should not have shoes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Little taps at his feet.
I had to kill the only abominable snowman with size 4 shoes.
Okay, so now we've got a bunch of bad tiles there. Do we
And I
want to
think
come
we'll
up?
need more as the night goes on. Like, if you have any more ideas now, I think it's worth kind of trying to churn out a few more.
Yeah.
I think elf classes came together really well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
honestly. So now let's try to think of ones that different ones are good at. Like, so there's 2 parts of tiles, right? Because there's the theme of the tile, and then there's the mechanic of the tile.
Like even like yeah, and also like there are 3 things because there's the layout of the tiles. I think before we jump into any of that, we need to figure out how are these tiles getting generated? How are they getting generated on the fly like Betrayal? Are they out
Interesting.
already?
So there's doors.
Yeah, or are they out already like the thing about Betrayal is those rooms get revealed because you're exploring a place, which doesn't make a lot of sense with our theme where these elves would know the workshops like the
Right.
back of their hand.
Yeah,
Right.
unless it's like you're opening doors and going into a room that you haven't been in. But like,
Right.
how many doors are there in a workshop? I feel like
Right.
it's much more applicable to like you have a wide open,
Yeah.
almost, I don't know, like warehouse area.
So I would lean towards suggesting tiles already laid out when you start the game, but we have to still think like
Is there a wall then? Like,
right, like do the players do that themselves to figure it out and then do they build their own map and then randomly things get distributed or
maybe certain tiles just randomly have a wall on them so that when you flip them over, you can't pass through that direction.
that works.
Of course, you might not. I guess if you're being blocked by a wall and a hidden tile, you're not going to see that.
I think maybe
Yeah.
maybe the map is revealed. Like you would be able to see everything because you would know the layout anyway as an elf. So like the flip mechanic wouldn't be a reveal of the room or the exits in the room. It would be a reveal of whatever's in the room because you would know, okay, like if you worked at a place, you're like, I know where the break room is, but you don't know what's in the break room until you walk into the break room.
So we would have to have the action that takes place in the room on a separate card from the tile itself.
Under the tile.
So you put the cards under the tile.
Maybe you
And-
shuffle them, place them upside down, put the tiles on top of them. When you enter the room, you have the ability
Pick
to
the tile up, you pick the card up, you put the tile down,
Flip
you
the
put
card. So then
the
on
card's
top
the
of
mystery.
tile. So the card. Okay. Okay.
But then that still leaves the how do we? Ooh, that's not right.
That didn't work out anymore.
Well, go ahead and yeah.
You guys keep talking. Spots.
Hello.
Where'd I go?
Aw, bye.
Wait, don't.
Oh, you're good on this side. Anyway.
Anyways.
Now you squished it.
Yeah, so like my brain is trying to suss out like, are we talking about like big warehouse that like you can basically see everything? Because it's a little weird to say like I can see this whole warehouse, but I'm gonna check this specific tile to figure out what's going
Yeah.
on.
I was
with it.
thinking more like workshopy, like different departments. So like maybe every tile is just like a different department, and maybe some tiles are bigger than others. other tiles. So like the
Yeah,
warehouse would be like 4 tiles wide.
Right.
So maybe there can be multiple things in there, but then like, you know, I keep coming back to the break room because I have no other ideas. Like that is only 1 tile or something.
So are we saying like if you enter a room with like multiple tiles, as soon as you enter that room, like all 4 get flipped up? If that's like a 4
Yeah, maybe.
tile room, like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So like in some cases you enter like a large room and like holy shit we have a bunch of things we have to fix here.
Right, a bunch of things break, yeah.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
So then like I would say that I don't know, it depends. Mostly concerned about just like having like tiles on tiles. It might not be a huge deal. It's a lot of setup and you'd always have to have like your base top tiles that show what room you're in.
Yeah.
Should be okay.
Yeah. And then the other thing is just like, yeah, is there like a set layout that we figure out now, or is it modular?
I feel like we
And
want
random-
it to be modular, right? Because we want to be
Yeah.
able to like you should be able to switch up how the
That's
layout
true.
is.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
agree with
Yeah.
that. Yep.
So
So rooms would stay together, but you could connect rooms in different ways to kind of.
I guess we
create
could do
your
a
workshop.
thing where it's like shuffle the tiles, put them face down, reveal a tile, and then place it as you build. So like the start of the game is just
Oh,
kind of like you
And
got
how
a
would you
stack
put
of
the how would you put the cards, the secondary cards in there, like the tasks in there? Would that be like
maybe there's like a set.
rolling dice?
Yeah, maybe there's like a set grid number already, so you know. Okay, like we can put shuffle the cards randomly, boom, 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 and then you build the tiles on top of them,
Yeah. Okay.
and then you go. That's a lot of setup, though.
Yeah.
Is my only concern.
Yeah.
so I was basically picturing like you have your tiles that are just like the available rooms that you can build. So maybe we recommend like for X amount of people that you're playing with, you should have these rooms, and then each room would have a specific amount of tiles associated with them. So like break room might only be 1, like kitchen might be 4 or whatever. And then as you're setting it up, I would basically be putting down like, okay, I have the kitchen that's 4 tiles. I'm going to set that up and put a hazard under each one, or like even if they're not hazards, just those cards that go under each one.
Yep.
Kitchen setup. Great. I want to put up the break room, so that's going to be off of the kitchen. Everything has to be connected, but I'm just setting up a room at a time with tiles underneath them. So that's possibly how we could do it. I don't know.
Do we gain anything putting the cards or tiles underneath versus just dealing them out as we move around?
No.
'Cause it might
I mean,
be
that's
it might be easier, more manageable if we just say, well, you shuffle your card deck, and as you move into a room, you can see you deal out 1 card in this room, 2 cards in this room.
yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that's true.
That might make it easier for setup, obviously, because you're just setting up as you go.
And then
Yeah, you're
instead.
just setting up the rooms, and then
Yeah.
everything else goes. Yeah.
And then you
yeah.
could vary it a little bit by having like this room is 2 good events and 1 bad event.
Mm-hmm.
So you could mix that up a little bit too, I guess.
Yep.
Right.
And then if you do that, you don't have to worry about like physical sizes. Like
That's true. Yeah.
the break room doesn't need to be 1 card, whereas the electronic shop
Has to be
we're putting
4.
4 cards together.
Yep.
It can
Right.
say on them how many it
Yep,
is, and
I
then
like that.
Yep.
maybe you just deal them out in like a 2x4 grid, and then you can make rows off of them of the things that happen in the room.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Matt, do you have anything to say about the direction of this game? Thumbs up from Matt.
Great.
Thanks.
Okay.
You can do social media at the table, you know.
That's just rude.
That's true. Yeah, it is rude. You should go outside for that.
Get out.
Okay.
All right, so I like that then. I
So
think
you want
that's
to start listing out rooms? I feel like that's the one thing that we don't have.
yeah.
Yeah, so let's get a room list going.
Okay.
Well, Quentin's favorite, the break room.
The break
Yeah,
room
the
first.
dumb. I just picturing like an elf with like a slightly loosened tie, stubble, like
The
drinking
foreman's
coffee.
office.
That's a good one. Yeah.
The foreman's office and the big man's office. Two different offices.
Oh yeah.
Santa's office,
Yeah, Santa's
yeah.
office. Yeah. The Claus's boudoir.
You can have bathrooms. I mean, right?
Yeah, there has to be bathrooms.
There has to be bathrooms, yeah.
At least one per floor, or, you know, a couple per game or whatever, depending on what we do. The supply.
Electronics.
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
electronics. Like the surveillance. Like,
Oh, like a surveillance room is good.
yeah, to make sure that these elves are doing what they're supposed to
That
be
would actually
doing.
be cool too, because if you went, I wonder if like we could have it so you go into the surveillance room, there might be hazards in there, but if you open that room up, then you can open up another room.
Yeah,
automatically without
yeah,
having
that'd be a
to-
good.
Or you
that would
can,
be a good mechanic.
you can see what's
Yeah,
in
you
that
can
room.
peek at it,
Yeah,
and yeah, like nothing gets
Oh,
triggered.
man, that's
you can
really
just see what's
good.
gonna happen.
Yep.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, supply has all like the crates of wrapping paper and bows and whatnot.
Oh, the stable.
Stables, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, stables.
It was like, what do you call the thing where horses and
Where
reindeer
horses
sleep?
go.
And then there's probably a separate garage for the sleigh.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe we need like workroom.
Jamaica
floor.
beat you guys to the stables, but I wasn't over here to report back on that. Also, we've got HR office, holding cell, and wrapping / wrapping
cell?
room. There's bad elves,
For
man.
bad elves.
Well,
They keep the holding cell at the workshop.
it's the war on Christmas, so there are definitely prisoners of the war on Christmas.
Matt, would you mind reading this out again?
Sure. So HR office.
Yep.
Sure.
Absolutely.
The holding cell. I don't know if you wrote that one
I
down.
mean,
So, yeah.
I haven't yet, but
Can
I
the
am.
HR elf be like with glasses and the pencil skirt and everything like
Yes.
that? Can that?
Can I
like,
also?
Wait, say that again? What?
the HR elf? You know, she's got the glasses and the
of
pencil
course,
skirt
yes.
and the bun.
Yeah, she looks like Rita Skeeter, basically.
Yes.
Yes.
The holding cell can also be the elf drunk tank. I've just gotten. They got a little too
Too much punch.
too tipsy. Yeah, the nog.
eggnog.
Too much eggnog. Yeah.
We need like kitchen or something
We-
too, right?
Oh yeah.
We have one other
Well,
one.
break room could have the kitchen, but
Oh yeah.
Well, we could have the break room as the kitchen, but if it's a big fancy workshop,
Well,
they
that's
probably
true. It
cook it
better
and eat
be.
it somewhere different.
it
Yeah.
better be.
We also had the wrapping / wrapping room.
Done.
Whoever came up with that, bravo, but also boo. But bravo.
Okay.
Does
So,
Santa pay living wages?
I mean,
Does Santa pay anything?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's my question. That's
Isn't it like those
cheer of
really
children.
old companies / Google now where they just give you a home and like that's your pay?
and the pay is like
Company
but
store.
the company store pay.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's Disney bucks.
Eek.
what was that for the wrapping / wrapping room?
the end of
Okay,
what I had.
cool.
Yeah. Do we want like an elf's barracks / like?
Oh, a sleeping area,
quarters?
living
Yeah.
quarters. That's where they live. This
And
is
then
your life.
Should we have specific? Like, do we have other workshop rooms like toy assembly line?
Yep.
If you have
like
a
working
drunk tank, do you have a
floor,
Okay,
but-
bar?
that works. Yeah. What?
If you have a drunk tank, do you have a bar?
Company bar.
Saloon,
Saloon. Yes.
canteen,
Eggnog bar. Yeah.
nog bar.
Nog bar.
Nog bar.
Fuck yes. Nog bar.
Yes, nog bar. Don't think I'd ever thought I'd hear those words together.
So much cream and liquid.
I know, it makes my stomach turn right now.
We're running out of room here.
Let's put a couple more bathrooms just in case now then, huh?
Just envisioning an elf being like, can't hold his nog.
Yeah, we have a ton of these. That's great though. Okay. Any other ideas that are sticking out? I'm just gonna put these down here for now. I think at some point we should. I'll pull up my laptop.
I was
and can
thinking-
put together like a Google spreadsheet.
Should we also make Santa and Mrs. Claus playable characters too, maybe? Or do we want to just stick to elves?
I just want to stick to elves because I feel
Yeah.
like I'd be required to make them more, like Mr. or Mrs. Claus, more special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's true.
You know,
I mean, they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
They're somewhere else.
Maybe we can save that for
Well, yeah, 'cause I feel
con
like-
exclusive content.
ooh,
Yeah, that's right. I'm withholding DLC. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
not a damn thing.
Because I was expecting the elves to like try to be stopping this before like Santa gets back.
Oh, that's
Right.
that's a really good. Yeah, that's a good premise.
Because it's on them. It comes out of their wages.
Yep.
The wages that they don't
Stuff
get. You don't get company credit anymore. Okay.
No nog for you this month.
Any other? What were we doing? Rooms. I'm sure there's gonna be things that we'll think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a good stack of rooms there.
Yeah, because I think other rooms will pop up
Yeah,
when we have needs.
And that's
or
another like
not.
scalable thing, right? Because if we're dealing the rooms at the beginning of the game, maybe it's like an 8x8 grid, and so like you don't use all the rooms or
Yeah,
something,
exactly.
and so every game's different.
Okay, I like that. I feel like we have a lot of ideas, so I might pull up my laptop and start.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a good
Organize
idea
it,
to
yeah.
make those workable, and then
Yeah.
we can start talking about.
I can also do that if you want to start working on art too.
Yeah, either way,
Let me grab my laptop.
do it up.
And we can start thinking about the larger game pieces that we need, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so room tiles is one thing we
Right.
need. Character cards is another thing we need.
Yep.
Items, for lack of a better word, is something we need. Hazards is something we need. We're going to get dice involved, so how finite a precision do we want with those mechanics, right? We've got D10s, we've got the full array of dice, so
Have the audience vote.
it depends on.
What dice? I know
that
Justin's
stuff.
going to say D12.
It's the
Are there-
forgotten dice.
Are there any more?
12 Days of Christmas. It should be a D12, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean, what
Well,
else is it gonna get loved,
Yep.
right?
I'm always a fan of a bigger die because you can get more precise with the percentages.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I
a
say we go for
D12
it.
allows you roughly
Do
8%
it.
increments on things, which is nice.
I had a
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
random thought for story. Is Krampus trying to destroy Christmas?
Oh, mix the
You
themes.
really want Krampus in a game, don't you?
I love
But why
Krampus.
would so my issue with that is that Krampus feeds on crappy kids.
That's
So
true.
he kind of
Yeah.
needs Christmas
you're
to
right.
exist.
Maybe we don't know, but the backstory is he's actually blowing up bad kids' toys.
The
No, it's
poison
fine.
reindeer. He just leaves a wake behind.
Just cause.
Which one?
Oh, top one.
Oh, okay. And then
Okay, so
I
while
assume it's
I'm basically putting all of our rooms together in
You ever
a
signed in
pile
before? I can
for
type in the password
Quentin to
to
take.
right
As I'm
Like it-
dropping all of
it-
them.
true.
So as Quentin's putting this in, I'll mark down all the different like pieces that we need, and we can kind of flesh those out.
Yep.
I missed that
Oh.
last part. I was gonna say I did have those square cards that we could always just write stuff on for very early play testing.
Yeah, that'd be great. How big are they?
I don't know where they are.
Square
Oh,
move.
over there. There's a bunch of different size
are they-
cards in there.
are they in
Actually,
the-
they should. Yeah, they're in the orange bin.
Oh, yeah, cool.
That's our game making.
So these are the square ones.
Oh, we have a
that's
bunch of other ones. in
Perfect.
there,
Yeah,
too.
that's exactly what I was picturing.
They pull out D12.
These are bridge size cards.
And then I think I have poker in there too.
Yay!
Let me see.
Yeah, there's poker cards.
Oh, and if you go into that red bag, the Amazon treasure truck bag behind you, there's a white box that has magic cards, and then there are plastic backings. So we can also do that, where we can, if we want to use those to slip stuff in. If you want to grab those.
And then I have the plastic pieces.
All right.
You gotta keep D12 out of there.
Yeah, we're fine.
We got the D12.
Ooh, what's that?
Huh? Little
Oh.
playable pieces.
Ooh.
So I can make little elves. You can move around.
Cool.
Did you get those just for this, or
I
did you?
did. So to be
Dedication.
fair, CB also wanted them for like D&D characters. If he does like people on maps, so
I'm just gonna pull out a
That's
bunch and we can vote on which one to use.
yeah, we have a bunch of
We
those.
know we
I
may
think
need a lot of
12.
them. I don't know.
all kinds of stuff.
Also, just to put it out there, we may want to think about putting a food order in soon.
Yeah, I can
Because
get
I
all.
literally had a Lara bar today.
Yeah, I've had a breakfast sandwich.
I had an egg, so.
Made by
I
Jared.
have a bagel and about 700
Yeah.
calories worth of
Okay.
pumpkin
Jared
seeds.
made me a breakfast sandwich. It was
Aw.
very
Oh, so it was a great breakfast.
good. It was the
sandwich.
best.
Is Jared coming to make us breakfast tomorrow?
They might be stopping by later.
Is he gonna have the flat top with him?
I
Right?
think that's a special request.
Bring the flat top.
Don't bother coming otherwise. Alright, so these are all of our rooms. I guess for anybody that's there, I can read them out again, just so we can toss out ideas if you have any other suggestions.
Yeah, and then when you're done, you can hand them over to me so I can put them in the
Exactly.
spreadsheet.
I'm sure
Nice
that
little list.
coffee is ready.
So we have the
Away at
supply
any
room.
point.
Yeah, coffee would be great. Supply room, so wrapping paper, bows, all that jazz. Workroom floor, which honestly might be other parts of it if we extend that out. Stables for the reindeer. Holding cell / elf drunk tank.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I'll
Okay.
grab after.
Here.
I'll grab after, don't worry about it. I was trying to go, I can't keep
There we
up.
go.
So after.
Kitchen. Sleigh garage. Where Santa sleighs. Surveillance room, which had like the little bonus of being able to peek into another room. HR. So obviously our little, I'll have to sneak her in somewhere.
Wait,
Maybe
so-
she'll like be sitting at a desk or something. Wrapping / wrapping room. The barracks or the sleeping area for all the elves. The Nog bar. The foreman's office. Bathrooms, which you might have multiple potentially. Claus's office. And the break room. So yeah, any other ideas are totally welcome. I'm sure we need
Yes,
lots of room,
absolutely,
so-
yeah.
I think as we go, we're gonna come up with more.
I do
Yeah.
too, yeah. But if you guys have any suggestions, once Matt gets back over, he will field chat.
Yes. He's back there somewhere.
Yeah. I think he's been abducted.
Yeah, he's gone forever. It's fine. Okay, so the things that John were listing out, we obviously need the tiles themselves. We need character cards for all the elves. Do you have anything in there?
Just to all have stock in post-it notes. Daniel does. Apparently.
I have all the post-its.
I have more.
You're definitely not heir to the 3M fortune.
Yeah, no.
This is what was the movie? The high school reunion, right? That's what they said. That they
Oh,
were
Romeo
the-
and Michelle.
Romeo and
Yes,
Michelle, they were the
yes,
heir to the
yes.
post.
Yes.
Right, I totally forgot. Okay, so we need tiles, characters,
I think I have
actual
all of
hazards.
them. That's like ours.
We need item cards,
This one.
dice, which we went with the D12 to give that some love and 12 days of Christmas. I think that's it.
I really want
Potentially.
12 D12. I'm trying to get 12, just for
Nice.
whatever.
We need to use a
4,
green
5,
one.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my god, I need one more. This is just our dice, though. I don't want to bust out like Matt's dice so I'm gonna lose them.
Well, we only need one
I know, I only need
right?
one.
Let's go with the green one. It's festive. And then for characters, we basically need both like the player cards and probably like these little guys so we can move them around the board.
Oh, nice. Who brought those?
I did. And the pieces.
Quentin, are you making a Google Doc that's shared?
Yeah.
I will share it in a second. I haven't shared it yet, but
He's busy. There's a whole list of rooms to pull out.
We got some D12s we're gonna vote on.
No, we're just gonna do the green one, I think, because it's Christmassy.
Yeah.
Though there's this red and white one that
That's
kind of
pretty good,
resembles
too.
a Starbucks.
Oh, might want to
The
go with
one
that
on
one.
Christmas.
Yeah, I kind of like the red one.
All right,
It's got a little more pizzazz to it.
all right.
it's
There we
festive.
go.
Yeah, I like it. Also add the name. So yeah, John, I basically wrote down our list of things that we need. So we need the tiles themselves, the hazards to go with that. We're basically just saying the hazards are like additional cards that you're flipping. So like you flip over a tile and it tells you how many
Yeah,
hazards.
when you enter in, each tile has a certain amount of
They're
hazards.
like event
and-
cards, I guess, not even just hazards.
Yeah.
Some could be fine.
Yeah, there could be good events.
characters, we probably need like the player cards and the pieces to move around.
Yep.
Items that you're picking up, and then the dice, which we decided was D12.
Cool.
So I think that's it for like objects that we need.
Cool. So then we should have a brainstormed list of all the ones we had for.
Do you have a Gmail account?
Yeah.
Is it just? I just don't want to say your email.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, you
Well, just type your email.
All right.
Into it.
Just add
Oh,
your
there.
social security number.
And then
Just put it here.
do you, John?
You have mine.
A note.
Do you
It's
have
an
a
email.
Do you have a Gmail account?
Yeah, you should have mine.
I don't.
Oh,
I have
no,
your-
sorry,
you
wait,
should-
hold
We've,
on.
we've communicated on.
I thought so too.
This is John.
Is it? There.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, Jerry.
second one.
Okay.
Okay. And then yeah, I guess I'll do the same thing that I did with the rooms. I'll read out the elves that we have, and then if anybody has other suggestions in the chat or here, let me know. So for elves, we have the gift wrapper. So we were basically saying that they could peek and then rewrap a room if they wanted to.
Should I also let everybody view this document if they want? Like, can I open it up for viewing and commenting to the chat?
Yeah, if you want.
And then I'll send you a link.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, that'd be great. I like it. Shipping, so you can actually move tools a little further than you could otherwise. Hand tool specialist, so potentially working with like hammers and nails. Lucky, so you can do rerolls. Animal specialist, very good with reindeer and potentially abominable snowman. The electronic specialist, so working more with wires and things like that, diffusing bombs. The duct user, so the John McClane character who can move through ducts without, it's basically free movement through ducts, and he will not have shoes. And Speedy, I'm assuming it's going to be more movement, so you can kind of jump around a room a little faster than others.
Potential issue with the first one, the one that gets the peak.
Yeah.
Have we kind of eliminated the peak mechanic? Because now you know what the rooms are, and it's more so.
Well, the peak would be what the
Oh,
tasks
shit.
are under the
but if
tiles.
we're
I
not
wonder
if we're doing from a deck. Oh,
But we could just change it so like they could
They could
got
look at
more
the
and
top.
discard. Like,
Because
yeah,
we also have the monitoring room that was supposed to do something along those lines too. So
Okay.
although that one works because it can just you can I guess either works where you can
Do you have the
pick
pen
it
that we
early
use for
and then just
our
auto put it on without having to go
alpha
in the room.
game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because this pen apparently doesn't work well on these cards.
What's on? Oh, do you need? I have all the pens if you
Oh,
need things.
sure.
Yeah, I have good stuff. My wine bag.
I got the good stuff with me. First one's free.
yikes.
Figure out what you need for the next one. So yeah, so like I think we can still do some good mechanics with that one with just drawing and possibly like discarding cards. Like they're gonna have kind of their pick of what.
Yeah,
They
maybe
want
they
to
get to
happen.
draw an extra. Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah, are we figuring out food?
Yeah, wants pizza.
Lots of pizza. Just get tons.
I like food.
Yeah.
So-
I'll like one.
How many pizzas?
I don't know. Should we pause for a second while we figure out
the
pizza?
pizza.
I think we can talk about pizza. while
We
we're
talk
on the
about-
Why
street.
not? What do other people like for pizza?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Hey chat, what do you guys think about Hawaiian pizza? Yay or
Ew.
nay? I like it.
I
Bridget
like
doesn't.
It too.
It's
You are a
good.
I don't know
monster.
what the
What?
problem is.
Pineapple's
It's
delicious.
Sweet and savory.
Yeah. Yeah, you get like some
Pineapple's
like.
not delicious. Meat's not delicious. So.
I mean,
Oh right.
pineapple's okay.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I understand why people do not like it. I would never say it's the best pizza ever. Here's all the pens and pencils.
Yeah, it's not the best pizza ever, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I could go for a nice Hawaiian pizza.
Right now,
Also have these guys too if you need them.
I would eat a whole Hawaiian pizza. I like them in general,
Yeah.
but I'm hungry.
I'm starving. I'll take any pizza you put in front of me.
So
I stashed some crackers in the back of the fireplace. So if
Can I
anyone
eat them
needs some
here?
of those.
Oh, nice.
I wouldn't recommend eating them into the microphone.
Okay.
Hence why I stuffed my face, then came back to the microphone.
People tend not to
So then
like
munch into the
eating on
microphone.
microphones.
Weird how that happens. I'm awful to not come with cash, so I can.
That's fine. I
Apple money.
just put in plenty of money.
Leave the whiteboard.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I thought about it as soon as I got here.
Me too. The worst part was I was outside next to an ATM and then didn't even. Like, I'm so annoyed.
You
We
made
have a
the
lot of
active
cash
choice
here.
not to.
Should be okay.
Okay.
So,
You guys are guests of Fidget Creative.
Yeah, I guess we are making.
a fidget.
We're making a game for you. So.
No, we're friends of Fidget.
so
We pay for our friends' pizza.
there is
I was gonna say we pay for our friends.
a
Stop.
decision of where we go for pizza.
Well, Camilla's, because I'm not going to call it out, but Quinn needed to go.
Oh, that's
pick up
true.
something.
That's right. We're going to
And I
Camilla's.
love their pizza.
And their pizza
Camilla's
is great.
has great pizza.
Camilla's at Marblehead has delicious pizza.
Actually, they have
Thanks,
several
Camilla.
locations.
Yeah, that works for me. I like Camilla.
Their
Yeah.
cheese pizza is only $7.
Whoa.
Large.
Damn.
The toppings they scale up, but
Yeah.
that's fine because you can sell me a good
We should
pizza.
get at least one of those delicious buffalo ones.
Yep.
And we need to get 2 veggies because
Yeah, they've
everyone
got
loves the veggies.
What's it, the Olivia something.
You could get a bunch of cheeses.
So
It's just good to
We
have.
need food for
one
the next
buffalo-
24 hours.
one buffalo, 2 veggie, 3 cheeses.
One buffalo,
Yeah.
2 cheeses.
That's
yeah,
6
unless you wanna-
pizzas for 5 people.
I think that will do. That'll be good because I'll definitely eat pizza all night. and
Yeah, I will just
tomorrow.
continue.
It's a versatile food.
I do have
Great.
breakfast stuff though, so.
Oh, good.
So when the sun comes up,
We have more pizza.
And we have the s'mores, right?
We
yep.
do have s'mores, and we have those cookies that my children made, which are delicious.
I just had one. They really are fantastic.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
such a
Are they? So
great
I can
idea
have
too.
one?
I'll bring one out. I'll bring them out.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take
I'll tell a little bit about the concept. So Bridget found this in the store. It was
Trader Joe's.
at Trader Joe's. It was basically a big mason jar that had layers of cookie ingredients
That's
in it, and it just had a tag on a string tied around the neck of it
With,
that said like
everything.
it was basically like add egg, butter, and water.
Yeah.
So you just dump the jar, you add those things, and they were really good cookies.
Yeah, I do the same thing for my my stepmom every year for Christmas. She loves the minestrone soup, so I just get her like the mason jar with like all the layers of ingredients, and then it just has a little recipe card on it.
Oh, that's
like,
cute.
oh, mix it in with
It's a good idea.
tomatoes, and
that's
you're good
cool.
to go. Yeah. So mason jar gifts, everybody.
Okay.
Economical.
So we've decided what
These
we
are
want for
delicious.
pizza. Right. I'm gonna go call it in.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Matt, do we get any other suggestions in there that I got to write down?
Meat lovers pizza for Matt was the one suggestion we've gotten. So.
Is that from CB?
My mom.
Oh, nice. Hi, Matt's mom.
Hi, Matt's mom. I like meat
Hello.
lovers pizza.
I do
Unlike your
too.
deadbeat son. I'm kidding. I love your son.
Yeah, he's great.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't go that far.
Let's not oversell things here, guys. Come on.
He's here.
We don't have to sell him to his own mother, I would hope.
He's really good, I promise. Okay, so I was collecting the hazards we were talking about. So, again, if you have any suggestions, let us know. So far, we have avalanche or blizzard, so like general snow hazard. Broken toys, a la Home Alone. Downed wires, like specifically Christmas lights, I think is.
Should we
is
have
one
a
too.
snow removal elf? Like the guy that
Like, snow
plows?
shoveler? I don't know, like it, so it depends because I feel like a lot of them were trying to tie to like toy making, but I mean they must have like maintenance guys there,
Right.
right? Like,
Maintenance guy.
yeah. Do you want to add that to the? Cool.
By the way, my mom said hi.
Hi, Matt's mom. Antifreeze. We just have a pool of it.
No antifreeze. Freaks me out.
Fires in general, which I think like that's a good one that they can potentially spread. So you want to take care of those before they go crazy. That'd be cool too, because like fires could only spread a certain way in specific rooms, and then once the room fills up, it pours into the next room. Like,
Yep.
that's cool. Broken steam pipes. Iced over. That actually might be fun too, because you could even, if you haven't fixed that room, like if you jump onto that tile, you might have to slide to the next tile. So like you continue your movement across it into the next hazard.
Yeah, or
I'm mostly just thinking of ice video games, which I
Yeah,
hate so much.
I was also thinking like maybe fire mechanics can interact where if you have an iced over room, if a fire spreads to it, it will just melt that room before
Yeah.
it catches on fire.
I like that. Apologies, I'm eating the delicious cookie.
It's really good.
Oh my god, so good. Batteries are like exploding cell phones. Abominable Snowman, which I think would be fun. He could even like roam around too. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
like, actually have
yeah.
like a piece for him.
Yep.
Um,
I'll put him in the supplies.
What
too.
about like malfunctioning toys?
oh, that's a good one. Like army of robots.
Yeah, shooting stuff at you. Like Zathura.
I never saw that one. That's
Oh my god, that one's
Jumanji, right?
great. That one's great.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I'm sure it'd be
Tim
into it.
Robbins.
I love Jumanji.
Directed by Jon Favreau.
Josh Hutcherson.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he's like 12 in it.
Have you seen his new show, Future Man?
No, I have to get Hulu.
We only watched the first episode.
Is it
but
good? I've heard it was really good.
Yeah.
It has.
I heard he has frontal nudity in it.
Like I can't. I
That
don't.
matters.
Oh, really? Weird.
So I know the girl from when she was on Scrubs
Oh.
as like the kind of jerky.
She was on Happy Endings too,
Yeah.
which I really like.
Yep. Anyways, fan room. So elves getting chopped into pieces.
Yes.
Booby traps. So like micro machines on the floor, tripwires. And then I think we have poisoned reindeers and rabid reindeers. So reindeers getting
I think
in bad situations.
like we can either get rid of the rabid reindeers or they can also be like mobile, like the abominable snowman. They don't have
Yeah.
to be.
Maybe instead of
like
the
pieces, but-
poisoned reindeers, they're like, brainwashed to act like rabid reindeers against something like a radio signal or something.
Ooh,
Makes
that'd
them
be-
go crazy.
That could be, yeah.
Instead of poisoning them, because
Right.
poisoning them
yeah, because like so
it makes me uncomfortable.
if we do have like free roaming reindeer too, if they are like I don't know going crazy, you can
Yeah.
easily have them like charge, so like
Right.
like take out a whole line.
Yeah.
They'd obviously hit a wall, but if there's like a large room, they could just
Right,
sprint
but they got
past
horns
everybody.
too.
Yeah.
Same mind control
Antlers.
reindeer, maybe.
Yeah, I like that. And that plays a little. Yeah, I mean that could potentially be something that like somebody Warren Christmas would be doing, just
Yes.
controlling all the reindeer.
Yeah.
So I'll just get rid
Exactly.
of poisoned reindeer then. Since
Yeah.
Bridget is morally opposed to it, which is fair. I feel like Matt would probably be morally opposed to poisoned reindeer as well. Me, I love my poisoned reindeer.
Can't get enough.
Can't get enough of them. Delicious.
But yeah, that's all of our hazard ideas so far. But I'm sure we'll.
Yeah, as need comes up, we'll.
So I'm not entirely sure how or what we need, but I did the room cards this
Yeah.
way. I
Sure.
think that's all that was
Yeah,
needed
that's
for
fine.
now.
Yeah, that's
for now.
Yeah.
Do we need to add any
Great job,
stats
Matt.
or anything? There's
You did
room
it.
around here.
You did such a good job.
I thank you.
Matt's mom, he's doing such a good job.
First you untangle me, then you compliment
You
me.
should be so proud of your son.
I've learned with my troubled dog that if you scratch his chest, it calms him down.
Oh.
So when Matt gets unruly tonight, we can just
We'll make sure.
yeah, yeah.
I thought the main event was John and I fist fighting though.
John's like-
so.
So now that John's back, I was gonna start getting into like diffusing bombs is the other goal that we're trying to do.
Right.
How do we want to handle those mechanics?
I think what we can do for diffusing bombs is that each bomb requires a certain set of items to defuse, right? So when we get into listing out what those items are that are on those item cards, some
Could you
bomb.
need a certain role, or would certain cards require a certain role?
You could
or-
get a roll mechanic in there. It might be like first you need to have the tools and then you have to make the roll. And then so that's where it's like you're gathering while you're scouring around, you're gathering items, and that's where the mechanic of somebody that can transfer items from a further distance with less moves comes in, or somebody having the ability to go through ductworks and all those things, because then you have to get those items to an elf that's gonna be able to go there and then make the rolls, and then maybe that's where the lucky elf comes in, because they could retry a screwed up roll on a bomb mechanic. Although I think for us to have that lucky class, we're going to have rolling a little more prevalent throughout.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So with the rolls, sorry again. Or I think that certain rolls like might actually set off the bomb too, because then you're dealing with mechanical, like maybe elves get blown out a certain radius and then they're stunned, so they can't do anything for a turn. I don't think we should kill any of the elves because that would suck to get like taken out of the game. But
Yeah,
at
because
least
that
get stunned.
feels bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe you're allowed to have one bomb go off before you lose. Like first bomb can set the game into chaos. Second bomb, you've lost.
Yeah. Maybe it's just you're
Possibly,
trying to like stop before all of the bombs diffuse. So it's like only a matter of time, or all the bombs explode. So it's only a matter of time before they all explode, because you're just gonna like maybe you luck into good rolls. But
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I think we do need to figure out like what the end game is. Like what?
Yes.
What are your?
Right.
before I'm gonna get rid of antifreeze as well, since we got rid of poison
Thank
reindeers.
you.
And
Yeah.
again, yes.
Thank you. Those are gone.
So, again, I don't really know what's going on with this game. I just wrote on the cards, but my mom had a suggestion, and I don't know how it plays into anything. A bomb in wrapping paper, where if you rip the paper, it explodes. But that kind of made me think, like, what if there were presents and you kind of rolled, like it was a wrapped present, so you roll, and if it's high, it's a bomb, and if it's low, it's just a present.
I think that's the idea with the deck, where when you go into a room, you have X amount of presents that you would then open and reveal, and then
That's a good theme for it. though,
Right,
'cause
exactly,
We were
yeah.
calling them events and
Events,
hazards.
yeah,
It should
yeah,
actually
yeah,
be
yeah.
presents.
Yeah,
Yes.
that makes a lot more
Packages or
sense.
something like
Okay,
that.
cool.
So great
Yes.
suggestion. Thank you.
Getting our terminology correct.
yeah.
It's important.
I know it's just a great view.
He's a giant.
I'm crushing your skull.
Why?
Yeah,
Why
it's
mine?
So
kinda
are these
mean.
all tapped? Are you?
These are all set.
Okay.
Everything is in.
All right.
So
I'm just gonna
right
get them
now,
out of
I
the
can
way.
do a
have-
recycling run if we need.
Thank you.
I have
Save the planet.
Yep.
elves, tiles / rooms, hazards, and then supplies that we need. Do you have that list of supplies? I can write them down.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. I guess the things that we haven't talked about are like items. That's the last
Right.
list of
So
things we need.
there's things that you could use to defuse a bomb. I could see like
Wire.
pliers, red wire, blue wire, green wire, kind of like different colored wires.
So I guess like are you adding the wires to the bombs though, or are you like
No,
the wires are already on the bomb?
maybe you're using the wires to make jumps on electrics, right? Like so, you can
Yeah.
reroute the current.
Start slays.
All right.
Essentially, you're jump starting the bomb. You kind of like keep the signal on by routing it from here to here, so you can cut out what's in the middle. Maybe I don't know. I've never defused a bomb.
Here, wait, I just
Amateur.
want to make sure I'm following what's going on here, because I'm totally involved in making this game with you guys.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a deck, and it's going to be kind of like pandemic-like then. So there's going to be bombs where you can draw good things that you're going to need for bomb disposal, but at some point, like, you draw a bomb out of that? Or
Yeah.
multiple bombs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Should have met. No. So yeah, I think that's what we're talking about. So you're drawing presents depending on how large the room is, and then those presents could have good, helpful things, or they could have bad things.
Okay.
And there's certain characters that can peek. There's certain whatever. Yeah.
Right.
But
I think, like-
defusing the bomb is the ultimate goal.
Right. Well, and I think thematically too, like maybe we need to think about toys that involve these materials that you can use.
Like
I-
Tinker Toys?
Yeah, like even just like you can bust out the wires from like an electronic toy.
Like
to
a
then use.
easy bake oven.
Yeah, so like you get like obviously like this electronic toy is like the wires resource, but I feel like we still need to tie it back to like the presents and toy theme, because otherwise you just have like a bunch of boxes with like materials in them.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
you
Right, for no
open-
reason,
you
right?
open a
Everything should
present-
be used for something.
Yeah.
So you open a present and it's a teddy bear, and you gain a button card and a stuffing card,
Exactly,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, like
Oh,
Super
yes.
Soaker, great for putting out fires. Like it
Ooh,
needs to be
yeah.
a toy that can then
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
take out a hazard.
So what if it's a card with multiple ones? So as opposed to having a separate deck where you then like, okay, now I'm getting this cloth or whatever, it's just icons on the bottom of the card.
That's what I'm
Where
picturing, yeah.
but then so you can only use it once at that point. So if it's a teddy bear where you've got the button and the fur
Yeah,
or
you have to
whatever,
choose
Yeah.
one or the
yeah.
other to use.
And then we can also like, oh well, there are like several ways to diffuse different bombs, so you can use different combinations of different cards
Yep.
to do it. As
Yeah,
long as
exactly.
it's not too easy, I guess that was.
right.
Button and some thread, or some stuffing and a wire, or
Come on. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, John. I didn't mean to interrupt you with
no, it's fun. 'Cause
my smooth movements.
I was odd. I forget what I was saying. Anyways,
Okay.
all the
So yeah, we're
macro put headphones
basically
on.
then
Hear it come
we're
through.
we're brainstorming toys that have specific materials in them that we can then use. So I have like bear that would have like button, cloth, or thread.
Now
Super
is each
Soaker.
one
Super
going to
Soaker.
have a use and a raw materials thing?
I don't know if we want to get. It depends on how complicated we want to get. Because like
Well-
the Super Soaker at least has water in it that you could use. That's kind of what I'm picturing.
So we could have some that are toys that are tools you use, and some that are raw materials.
And maybe we're going about this kind of backwards, or we want to look at it backwards, where what are the materials that we need?
Right.
What are the toys
And
that,
that can
we
be-
can pick
Yeah,
from those materials?
that's probably a better
Yeah, so I think
idea.
we need to look at the hazards and then figure out what we need for those.
So let's do that.
So yeah, we at least we're thinking Super Soaker water for the fire. My hazard. We recycled the hazards deck, so we need Quentin to come back and read them out for us.
Where is
I
it?
got the sheet up.
Okay, cool.
I've just.
Mind controlled reindeer.
I feel
So
like we
tinfoil.
need- Oh, I like that.
Oh yeah, can we make little
What'd you
tinfoil
get?
hats to stop it? So tinfoil.
Yeah, it's so good. I love it. Yeah,
Perfect.
what like I guess like tinsel or something. Like
Oh,
you could
tinsel.
even do like
Tinsel
wrapping-
hats.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna write down.
I don't know what your item's calling this for, but I'm declaring what it is for now.
This is exactly what it's for.
Okay.
For items.
It's 4 items. Adieu.
But well, I'm putting them specifically to what the one next to it needs to undo it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Color.
It'd be
why don't we
easier.
do like? Yeah, that works.
All right. So what else do we need? So we have tinsel for tinsel hats for the mind control reindeer,
Oh god, that's really good.
and then Super Soaker. I'm just putting these on pink just so they don't get mixed up with other things.
So yeah.
Well, so right now we have booby traps listed as one thing.
Yeah, they
Maybe
need to
we need
be
to think
different,
about
yeah.
what those
Yeah.
actually are.
Okay, yeah, we can get rid of micro machines. I just thought it was funny, but I can't think of a good like micro machines are more of a toy item,
Right.
not like a
Not materials exactly, I guess.
yeah.
Any other toys that have water in them that we could do? So like you have more than just the Super Soaker.
Water
It could be-
balloons or something maybe. Though I guess you wouldn't get water balloons, the
Yeah.
filled water balloons as a.
Oh, like the little, like the puzzle tanks with the
yeah.
the little
Oh, that you push the button and it shoots air.
Yeah, it shoots air, yeah.
What are those?
Oh, snow globes too.
Oh,
snow
snow
globes.
globes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snow globes.
Here, I'm gonna separate them with a comma, Matt, instead
Well,
of a.
actually,
Was
yeah,
Matt
'cause what we
separating
should
them with
do,
an
as
eggplant?
opposed to putting like super
Yeah, it's
soaker,
with an
like,
eggplant.
what is it that we're getting from the toy that we need?
Yeah, we need
there?
water basically.
So we can make
anything that
another
has water.
column if that's helpful. So as opposed to just having
That's
super
a
soaker
column.
next to it, we want water because we're gonna need water to undo that.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to set that up?
Sure.
Snow globes.
I'm gonna delete that one and then.
What was the? What did you call the little like fish tank thing.
Yeah, they're like the ring puzzles.
Tank games.
The ring
Tank
games.
ring game or
Ring water game. There has to be a name for them, and I'm going
Yeah.
handheld classic water game.
Rings.
Water ring games. Handheld water game. Is that really what it's? There's got to be like a good. I had a really cool basketball one when I was a kid.
Yeah, I had that too.
Yep.
Okay.
God,
Yeah,
I
so if
love
you think
these
of any of,
things.
like,
But you know what?
water's
Maybe it's
definitely
good that
one
it
of the
doesn't have a name because then it's easy for us to just use
Yeah,
it instead of
That's
it
true.
being
generic tank game.
right.
Anything else that would have like reflective materials that we can make tinfoil hats?
Oh, let me
It
see.
could be a doll's dress, like a doll with a shiny
Costume,
dress.
yeah, like a
Yeah.
knight's
Or a
costume,
knight, yeah.
Or like a space. A
Toy sword.
I think the
spacesuit.
spacesuit
Spacesuit.
probably.
Yeah.
Spacesuit. Spaceship.
When's the pizza?
They said 20 to 25 minutes.
Do you want me to go with you, and then I'll run
Yeah,
over to
yeah.
CVS?
Okay.
And then while they're gone, we'll just switch it up and do a different game
Mm-hmm.
completely.
Totally.
That's
We'll
fine.
bring Ghost back.
It was my idea, so yes.
What are some other hazards we need to take out?
What can we do for the fan, the fan room fans thing? Does that work for hazards, or is that more of like a tile?
Well, he was thinking like Willy Wonka suck you up into the
Yeah, so
that's
the
the problem.
hazard would be like busted HVAC, but you could probably also have like a boiler room or a machine room or something like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
you could
Right.
probably get one of each out of the concept. As for stopping it, like something to tangle it. So
That's what I
like
was thinking too.
like would it be
Just throw a
like
bunch of junk in.
a string or like taffy, like
weights to weigh you down, something along those lines.
Weights would be
glue,
like an okay, like dumbbells or something might be like a thing for.
Yeah.
stuffing.
Yeah.
Like it might be
Oh, like the Build-A-Bear, like
Yeah.
creepy, like you have the husk of a bear and you like stick it on the machine.
Yeah, exactly. Bear entrails.
Bear entrails, yes. Teddy bear entrails.
So
Yeah.
for the fan, we're thinking like stuffing string.
You know what you could do, Matt, for this is just add spaces under the hazards and then list next to them the materials that they need to. So then you can do like, you know, 2 spaces between mind controlled reindeer and booby traps, and then tinsel in one, tinfoil in the other. Like this. Hold on, I'll show you. Sorry, everybody.
Let's talk about Google.
We're formatting some Google Sheets right
I
now.
love spreadsheets, let me tell you.
I mean, I really do like spreadsheets. I
Gotten-
could live in them forever.
We had an hour-long discussion in a meeting yesterday at work about like a spreadsheet, and I was all right with it. I wasn't bored.
I mostly just get annoyed when people suggest bad formats for spreadsheets.
Yes. Well, don't look at this spreadsheet.
Ooh. Okay, so fans a little funky. I'm gonna jump off of that.
Put that to the side.
Yeah. What other ones? We had the iced over room.
Okay, so that could be something that is fire or heat.
Yeah.
You see? Like
I
that?
really like the
Does
easy
that make
bake
sense?
oven.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at the chat.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean that works.
Okay.
What else can make heat?
Not too many toys.
Electric batteries,
Yeah.
like cell phone batteries.
I really like the cell phone batteries.
Right. So I mean, really, as long as each thing can be undone by 1 or 2 items,
Yeah, exactly.
by 2 or 3 items. As long as it's not just one. As long as you're not painting yourself into that. We have to get just this one card for just this one room, or we're toast.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. The back was the other ones. What else do we have for hazards in there?
Sorry, hold on 1 second. Let me just move this here. Okay. We have the abominable snowman. How would you stop the abominable snowman?
Cell phone battery.
I mean, I feel like he would be against fire and heat as well.
Knight's sword. Did we already have that kind of on an idea for a metal source?
Yeah, like
Wait, what scares Bumble in Rudolph?
Dentists.
Dentists.
oh, Bumble's bounce. Yeah. I don't think he was ever scared, right?
Was he not?
Scared. No, there was something
Yeah, I thought there was something.
Cornelius is coming at him with.
His axe.
Bumble the snowman afraid of.
Ah, the modern age.
So I think you could also do like nets or something like that, because that could stop both the snowmans and the reindeer.
Yep. How do you have a net in factory?
All I could think of was like rope ladders,
Oh yeah.
like playground
yeah, for
equipment.
like
Oh
playground
yeah,
equipment.
yeah.
You could also have sacks, right? Like Santa's sack.
Yeah.
I have to rethink this formatting, Matt. Just because I forgot we broke it up between materials and items. So.
You and I actually have to head out in a minute.
Okay. I'm gonna charge this more.
That's a good call. I need to power this thing up.
You. Okay. Yeah, we might, if people are moving, I'll probably need you to feed me more hazards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Quentin and I are running to grab pizza.
Okay.
Is there a plug on the side of the wall?
I'm stealing John's mic.
Ooh.
There's one over by Danielle, if that's what you're looking
There
for.
is one there. You just have to pull the little plastic thing out.
Cool.
There's also one over here. You just have to pull this thing out.
Kid safety.
Do you want to pause for maybe like 2 minutes just so we can kind of like suss out where we are with the spreadsheet and then we can
Sure.
come back?
Sure. You want me to send us to our title card for a
Yeah,
minute?
let's do it.
All right.
Unsafe since the computer.
Milk and cream and almond milk in the fridge if you use it.
Fun packs.
Yeah.
.tm.
There's almond milk in my fridge.
You having fun so far, Bridget?
Yeah. This is fun. This
Yeah?
is fun.
You I sort of half
No, I'm
believed
really,
you.
no, it's really fun.
Really.
I may not seem it, but this is actually pretty. This came together really easily so far. So
Well, don't go jinx us.
no, jinxes aren't a thing.
I got my coffee, so everything's okay.
All right. So,
Just real quick, full disclosure, like I usually make my coffee super wussy because I'm super sensitive to caffeine, but I made it the way the package told me to.
Really?
So it's probably better, but I don't know for sure because I've never made it that way.
it was a suggestion for an Irish coffee, by the way, so just be a little prepared.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I drink my coffee black.
Yeah,
so
no, I figured. That's why I just wanted to let you know that, you
it's
know.
as thick and
But
potent as possible.
next pot, just make if that's too wussy. I don't know.
It's fine.
Okay. Is it all right?
It's very hot, but it's good.
Okay, good.
Okay, so where are you with the spreadsheet so far? What do you need from me?
I mean,
Can I just look over your shoulder?
yeah, sure. You're going to want to bring your mic with you. But
Mike.
so, I mean, I'm looking at the hazards and the materials right now, and just we can keep going down what are on the hazards list. Like, so essentially right now we've got one item or one material item that takes care of each hazard, which
So
I
I,
guess-
feel like when we're going through them, it might make more sense to list out. It sucks is like there might be different materials that take care of one hazard, so maybe we list out each hazard and then what can fix it. And there's going to be overlap because I think the things that could take out like the abominable snowman and the reindeers could work together too. So
well, and I think that would be actually like a really good thing that
Yeah.
let's get this down to like 8 materials that exist in the game.
Right.
And so,
Okay.
so I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe even the best thing to go is like, what materials can we get? Okay. What hazards do those deal with? I don't know. There's so many ways that we can go ahead, but we can just go over the hazards that we have right now. 'Cause a lot of these are heat related, like iced over.
The heating coil from a oven.
yeah,
Kid
so we have
ovens.
easy bake oven for sure.
Oven, yeah.
What else do we have for heat?
I mean, because I think the abominable snowman would not like heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Like
very
honestly, like even like something
clumbering.
cute, like you're tossing a sweater at him because he doesn't like being warm. Like, I just don't like. I don't know. I'm still trying to think of things that you could find in like a present.
Oh, you could give him a teddy bear because all he wants, he's like, oh, and he's
Yeah, you
all
just like subdue him.
snuggly.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to be like taking him out. You're just trying to stop him from moving
you're
around
right.
and like creating
You
destruction.
don't want him to
so- Yeah.
stomp on you.
I like the teddy bear. Okay. And that's same with the reindeers too. I think we're
That's-
trying to like subdue them or at least stop the mind control. So the tinsel hats and then
tinsel
are
hats,
just
yeah.
like stopping them from moving.
Yeah.
Right.
So then I wonder, I'm looking at this for like what else could tinsel go on, like exploding batteries because you're shielding it from reaching a cell tower,
just
so
love
then it
exploding
can
batteries.
explode because it's not getting over.
like,
You know
Cell
what you use
phones
for
and-
the toys? Like, sorry, I just cut you off. But you know, like the batons, like
Oh,
with
yeah.
the tinsel
Yep.
coming out the end.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you can use. as a
Yeah,
toy.
like even like cell phones in general, you could see like that's disrupting the signal to like the mind control
Yeah.
reindeers too. So
Sure.
cell phones can be used in different ways, I think.
Yeah, so and I think some of these need to be expanded upon, like we were talking about earlier, like booby traps. All right, cool.
Yeah,
That's the good
what-
concept.
right.
What are the booby traps?
Right, there's like a million of them.
And then we have avalanche, blizzard, heat also stops.
Those two, like I don't know how we're gonna pull that off unless like it's coming through windows. Like
Yeah.
the iced over, even that, like no, I don't know. It should be fine.
Let's think up some booby traps. Let's try and expand on
Sure.
that.
Okay. Well, there was the
So-
down Christmas light wires, right?
Right.
That was one. Down
Which
wires.
I think.
Christmas lights.
Yep, that's right here. So we got that.
Oh, here, there we got that.
So I think like something like you can bring in slime. So like something that like sticks the elf to that tile for like X amount of turns. So like you
Right.
have to roll to like escape from it. I think would be cool.
Yeah. There's like scotch tape.
I like that. Yeah.
That's actually a good hazard too, because then it's just like, oh, cool, I have this thing, then I can get around it. Oh, I don't have this thing, I just got to suffer for a round.
Yeah. You have scissors to cut through the Scotch tape.
That's actually so. Just a quick side note on the subject of booby traps. So, my sister and I used to go out and we'd sneak out and feel out the whole tree and everything, and we're really good about figuring out what presents were
Cover
and
your
what,
ears,
like
Matt's
ahead
mom.
of time. Oh no, she knew, because this was the thing, is that my dad started building booby traps to
Oh my
catch
gosh,
us.
really?
So my sister, he did a Scotch
Genius.
tape on the door. He
That's great.
I think he wanted to rig up something for me that never worked out, where essentially when I opened my door, it was just going to blast me with light, so I would be like blinded. There was one where he had put a frying pan on the very edge of a chair with a rope tied to my door, and another frying pan down on the ground. So when
Stop
I
it.
pulled the door, bang!
Oh man.
My parents were not at all like that at
I
all.
was the most gullible little girl. I loved Goonies, and like booby traps were like a big part of them.
Yeah, yeah,
At one point. So I definitely knew that there were presents under. Like my mom was a quilter, so she just draped quilts over the massive piles of toys in their room. But she told me that they were booby trapped, and I was so terrified that I was going to set it off that I did not
Poor
touch
baby
this.
Danielle.
Yeah, I didn't touch the quilts. And, like there's going to be a booby trap, and like something's going to shoot out of the wall, or nope. Never touched them. And then eventually I figured out that no, they're not booby trapped. I'm an idiot.
All my presents are going to self-destruct.
Christmas would be ruined.
So, yeah, I mean, I would even put like the Scotch tape thing
Yeah.
as
Because it's hilarious.
a booby trap.
I like it.
Yeah, in all honesty, the words. In all honesty, we can probably pull from Home Alone.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
trying to
for
think
sure.
of everything that he had going on in that
The
house.
paint can.
Paint
can could be another like elf gets hit and like tossed against the wall, so like you're getting pushed and then you might be stunned for like a turn.
Right.
So then, does that mean, so potentially in the items, is there any sort of equipment for the elves? So like, oh, I drew a helmet. Now my elf has a helmet. So this paint can attack isn't going to do anything to
Oh,
me. But is that
true.
only going to be good for the paint can attack? Or I'm
I
sure we
guess
could
it
think of other
depends on
things.
when we go,
that,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you've got the slime that's on the floor.
Right, because multitasking items is going to make a big difference in the obviously
Yes.
art department.
Yes.
Time departments.
Well, like again, like if we're using scissors for cutting through Scotch tape, you could use the scissors to cut the rope that's attached to the paint can. Like I think we can use
True.
those in different places. I don't want to like stab reindeer or anything, but we should be like cutting objects.
We already know how Bridget feels about that.
No cruelty to animals. Only mind control.
Only mind control, but that's fine. They don't remember any of it afterwards. It's not like those times where people are like, I remember everything horrible I did while under mind control, and they live with it for the rest of their lives. Nothing like that. The reindeers go on and
Nothing I
live
could do.
lovely lives
Yeah.
afterwards.
I don't know, man. Ginny didn't remember what she did when she was under Tom Riddle's control, and she didn't seem very okay with that.
It's true.
But she also married Harry Potter, so it's fine.
Oh, that's
So if we did have micro machines on the floor, slash Legos on the floor, slash Jacks on the floor.
Slippers, maybe.
So slippers might be cool for like sneaking around things. So like if you have the slippers
Oh,
on, you can
yeah.
sneak by the snowman.
Yep. I'm just thinking like stepping on, like I'm just thinking of my own personal experience of stepping on my kids' like Hot Wheels, and it's the most horrific thing ever. Not as horrific as Legos,
Right.
but
So okay, so
Something to protect.
Thinking about like, I guess noise hazards in general. So like maybe like if you run into things like the micro machines, like you're gonna make a bunch of noise, and then Abominable Snowman is gonna come after you. Like things like that where you're kind of
So there was
other objects.
talk about Abominable moving, which does present its own issue because, like, obviously Burglar Bros has a whole system built around a guard moving, but unless you have slippers on, if you go within one tile of Abominable, so maybe that's his only move mechanic is just like if you need to be wearing slippers if you go by him. Because otherwise he comes in immediately, he attacks you then, and perhaps there could be some strategic reason to have him attack me so that you can get by on the other side or something like that. Okay. Excuse me. So I put slippers next to that. What other hazards can we dream up? Switch our camera again. To the really super. So everyone can see the cookies. Really, is what it's all about.
They're delicious cookies.
So those all are hazards? Yeah,
that's
right.
So.
Or like the downed wires, like how do you?
Oh, the broken steam pipe. Could you have like like Legos or something like that, so you could build a pipe to move it around the other way, something along those lines?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Yeah.
I think we need like actual obstacles to like prevent you from going places too, if you know what I mean. Just like
absolutely.
pure blocking things you have to remove.
Right.
But wouldn't like the fire be?
It would, yeah. It's
Man. So okay, I'll read you the whole list of what we have right now. Mind control reindeer, micro machines on the floor, fan room, malfunctioning toys, abominable snowman, exploding batteries, cell phones, iPads, iced over, broken steam pipe, fires, down exposed Christmas lights, broken toys, avalanche slash blizzard, slime that sticks out to the tile, scotch tape trap, and paint can attack.
Oh, the broken toys. You know, the little like the kids like broom and dustpan.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Just sweep it on up. Oh.
For which one?
The broken toys.
And we're saying like you have to clear out the hazards to get items. That's basically like your incentive to get rid of these.
Yeah, because you need the items to defuse the bomb, I assume.
So then you have to start the game with a handful of items, right? That you're randomly drawing.
Right? Yeah, maybe you just
because otherwise you can't get into a room to.
Right. Yeah. Right. I love the cut my elf into pieces. This is my Christmas tort.
Where?
Right there.
Oh my god, I didn't even read that whole part. Oops. Yeah, the fan room one, the only thing that I think is kind of weird about that is a room. So and then you can't guarantee that's going to be the hazard for that room.
Right.
Yeah, I mean anything we're doing, it needs to be something that you can have in a present that you're opening, basically.
Yeah.
I think that's our constraint.
I think John came up with that one. We could just remove it while he's
John's the worst.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Okay, yeah.
But wait, so all right, I want to make sure I have this straight. So the hazards are the things in the room, though. So these don't need to be in presence.
Well, so I thought that so I go into kitchen. Kitchen says you have to pick up 3 presents and open those presents. The presents could have good items in them or they could have hazards.
Okay.
The items is a thing that I'm struggling with because we're also saying that to remove a hazard, you also get items. So do you get items in both the presents and by removing things? Which could be fine, but like
that's weird.
Still something I'm struggling with. Like maybe the presents are just like, I don't know. I feel like we have this mechanic of like you're opening presents to get a toy that you can then use for other things.
I mean, So I see 2 things there. So I don't think I think the hazard is fine to be in the presence and still be something that you wouldn't open from a present because it's just like, okay, this is the state of the room. But I think there is another problem there too, is that I grabbed 3 presents, all 3 of them are hazards. And now I've got to deal with all 3 of these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I just realized too is that like we have requirements for like diffusing the bomb. So like, are those different types of items? Or like, are those the things that you get from clearing out the hazards?
Yeah.
I
Because so what I was thinking, and again, because I obviously have not been paying attention this whole time, was that the hazards. So you had the room, you lay out hazards, and then you lay out the room tiles on top of them, and so you flip the room, you flip the hazard along with that, and the thing is, at that point, they aren't necessarily hazards. They're room statuses.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they can be good. They can be like, hey, grab 2 extra presents or something
Yeah.
like that. But if that's the case, then would anything bad be coming out of the presents, or are they just a permanently like good to neutral sort of thing?
Well, that's right. That's the thing
exactly.
too, because why would you get bad things out of presents unless he was setting up traps?
Unless it's like a tarantula that like jumped out of your face.
That'd be good
Yeah,
to
so
know.
maybe, I mean, we could think of them as straight up just, these are room statuses, and the statuses could give you the bonus of, okay, open 2 presents. Because, like, presents are probably just available in the workshop in general, so, like, those are probably, it seems more logical that you'd just be pulling presents from, like, a stash versus having them like, scattered in rooms.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So maybe that's how we go about it. So tiles would only have statuses below them, which could either have a hazard, a positive thing, or just a neutral thing. And then the positive things are the ways that you could potentially get presents, or if you clear out a hazard, you also get presents from that.
I think that makes sense. But again, you would have to start with some amount of things because you could hit a hazard right off the bat.
Right.
But now you
But
could.
you should be able to like draw presents too. Like I think that makes a little more sense. So there's always a present stash available. So like an action during your turn could be like, I just want to pick up a present and see what's inside of it.
Yeah.
See if I can get something to help me out.
And unless it's like the slime, you could always just be like, all right, have fun, hazard. I'm
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
another room.
Right.
So what did we miss?
Everything. The game is already done. We're coming up with a new one
Okay,
now.
so you guys have,
So, yeah, we redesigned it from the ground up.
okay.
So I think what we were basically just talking about, the biggest change that we were trying to figure out was just like, how are we getting items? So we started with the whole concept of like, if I go into a kitchen, we were saying that there's like, okay, there's 3 presents to open, and some have items in them, some have hazards, and then you use the items to fix the hazards. But Matt brought up the point of like, what if you pick up 3 hazards? You can't do anything with that. So we're thinking tiles basically only have statuses attached to them, so they could be a hazard, it could be a positive thing that says like, go pick up some presents from the stash, or it could just be neutral. It's just a fine spot in the room.
The problem with that is some of the statuses, like the fire or the iced over room, which would need to like either spread or be a surprise, if that makes sense. Like if you lock statuses to rooms, then you always know what you're dealing with.
Well,
We're
those
like,
would still
But
be
it
when
would
you-
still be randomized. Like I'm not sticking. The reason we got into this was because of the fan room is a problem in that regard.
I see what you're saying.
So
like,
you randomly put down what the status is. So this could be getting presents. This could be fire. We don't know.
so
And
there
then you
could
put a
just be
room on
like
top of it.
Yeah. Okay.
And it could even be pulling from like a status deck. We don't even necessarily need to put them under the tiles. Like
Right.
you enter
Sure.
a room and you just go status to fill up the room.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Like, I'm cool with separating those
Yeah.
things instead of, because you're like, drawing constant hazards would feel real shitty.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like the hazards being in the presence is a little funky. And then that got us into the topic of like, you're in Santa's workshop, there should just be a stash of presents that's like already been created. So
Yeah.
the elves should have access to that no matter what.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's an action during your turn to be like, I'm just going to pick up some presents and see what I can get out of this.
Yeah, then there could just be bonus presents lying around in like
Exactly.
whatever
So
room.
like
Maybe-
a stat, you flip over a status and there's 2 presents there.
Right, or if you try to get from the warehouse, that's your turn. Like you can't move.
Oh, yeah,
otherwise.
yeah. Yeah, well,
Maybe
maybe
you choose to grab
you
some from the
open
storehouse
presents, or you
if you
move.
need items. Yeah,
that would be cool if like
Yeah.
you just have to go back to the centralized warehouse to get items and like.
That would be cool. Yeah.
But then that might be a thing where someone could just sit there unwrapping presents for like
Yeah,
turns
exactly.
and turns.
Yeah.
So another thing that we discussed out of that too is the potential for having equipment, because we started coming up with more specifically booby trap hazards, and obviously going back to Home Alone, So like the paint cans swinging down is like a hazard when you walk into a room. So potentially you can draw a helmet as a present,
Or a
and then
pair of
that's
scissors.
permanently affixed to you, or like slippers. So if you come across the micro machines on the floor, they don't bother you because you're wearing slippers, and so and
Or if you
also
slip
that can
past the
work.
Abominable Snowman.
And so with the Abominable Snowman, as we discussed, that like Burglar Bros has a whole thing worked out for how those security guards move around. Like we're not going to have time to do that for the Abominable Snowman, but what we can do is you flip him over. I guess it's weird for someone in the room because what we were saying is like you flip him over unless like if you go one tile beside of him without slippers on, he's going to attack you. But if you're wearing slippers, you can go near him and he will leave you alone.
I like the idea of him just like having a turn and moving. Like we can just randomly roll or something for his moves, and then like
But it's tough. What's the roll doing for the direction? Like you're rolling a d12, so how do you do direction? How do you do how many
If it's cardinal
spaces?
directions, you've got 4 directions, and that means you do 1 through 3 is up, 4 through 6 is right, 7 through 9 is.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Mechanic wise, you can do it with a d12. Numerically, it works and it's balanced, so you would have an equal shot of him going in any direction. You'd have to deal with the re-roll mechanic if it involved him leaving the workshop, like if you got to an edge.
I feel like he would know. He would just turn around at that point. Like if he gets to an
Just,
edge,
like, opposite way.
Yeah, like he just turn. Like you roll again. If he's going in that direction, he'd luck out. He just gets caught in a corner. But like otherwise, he would turn around. But yeah,
I mean, I also think it's entirely possible that we just think of a bunch of other hazards and we don't have a character that wanders around.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe not. Yeah, I like the idea of having the character that wanders around, but it might be too complicated for 24 hours.
Yeah, I think let's do the game without the wandering character mechanic.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the kind of thing that we can add on afterwards, even
Yeah,
during the
once we're more
24 hours
comfortable.
if we get there.
Yeah.
And something else we could do for a move mechanic, do a card-based mechanic.
Yeah.
We come up with a few different move options that the creature could do.
Yep.
Right? And you have a creature move deck that's got 7, 8, 9, 10 cards, and every time the creature has to move, you shuffle it and you pull a card.
Yeah, that works.
And then you could get, you're like, oh, turn around. Oh, take 2 moves. Oh, 1 up, 1 over. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But I still, Matt's right about that. Let's make the game with just the tiles and no moving mechanic. And then let's see when we get to adding that other piece on if we get there.
Yeah, I agree.
Should we pause for food?
Sustenance, yeah.
So,
Let me just.
So I would say let's not put the whole stream on pause. Let's just go in like groups, 2 or
Yeah,
3
that's
people, go
fine.
get something to eat. The rest of us sit around here and still spitball.
okay, so
I think also like eating at the table will be fine as long as we're not like. By the way, everybody, yeah, I'm doing the thing you don't want me to do. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, well then, you guys held down the stream while we went and grabbed stuff, so why don't you guys feel free to go eat?
You should go eat because you're starving.
Yeah. You go eat. I had my crackers. I can hold off a little bit.
And I just had another cookie, so I'm good.
I'm fine waiting.
Just go and
So,
chips.
you too.
Okay.
Get
Go ahead.
Get the Crawfords out of here. Now we can make that company that Bridget's all paranoid about.
Sure.
It's called No Crawfords. And
No Crawfords allowed.
no Crawfords allowed.
No pizza for you guys.
Okay.
So do we need to think of different? So our hazards are basically included in our status list. We definitely have some neutral statuses that are just like all's well. Like, I don't know how to represent those, but it's
Yeah,
like
I mean
nothing
maybe
happens.
maybe. I mean also how many cards are we to be laying out for this game? Like initially with the D12, I was assuming it's gonna have to be more than 12 cards though.
Like the tiles themselves.
Yeah, the tiles.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
how big is the place that we're going to be going through that we need to have all these different statuses for, and then I guess what happens is then one of these status cards becomes the bomb, or if there's 5 of us playing, 2 of them become the bomb.
Right.
And so it's not time to defuse it until it flips, but once it flips, then you have a round to
Oh, we
defuse
could
it or
do- yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, I was
We-
thinking at least like 16 or 20 tiles.
That's what I was thinking. Like, yeah, and like you can, and it could expand the more players there are.
Right. Yeah.
And conversely too, it doesn't need to play up to 5 players. We can say this is a
Right.
2-player game and
Yeah,
play test it
yeah,
with different people,
sure,
different
yeah,
strategies.
yeah. Or we can do a thing where there's like a difficulty mode where like maybe it's tougher. I don't know how it'll shake out, but maybe it's tougher the larger the workshop is. So like hard mode is 30 tiles, and it's more to set up, and it's more involved, but it's like a tougher experience. Where like a quicker play might be 12 tiles or 15 tiles or something.
So, I mean, I do think that we're definitely
16, I guess it won't be 15.
Yeah, it'd be like 16 or 25.
Yeah.
Like 5x5, 4x4 or 5x5 seems to be the right number.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
So, which then at that point, and obviously the math guy is going to weigh in on this. My thought would be that, okay, we have, let's say we have a 16 tile game. We're only going to draw so many items in the course of that game. So we really need to keep the materials down to a certain, like if you have potential different 12 materials to pull on a 16 tile board,
Unless-
like you're going to get screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, so aren't materials attached to items?
They'd be attached to the toys, yeah.
So what we could do is just come up with a list of toys that have like, the Super Soaker has plastic, it has water, it has rubber bands, and then like those three things could be like maybe something else has rubber bands, but it also has metal and like
Yeah, no, absolutely agreed. I think we should be putting in things that have multiple things that you can pull from it, but we should probably figure out like, and we were doing this already based on the hazards. Okay, what materials do we need?
Yeah,
and then we can develop items based on those materials.
That probably makes more sense than doing the items first. Yeah.
But then we want to keep it to like 6 materials that.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, like, can you think of? All right. So we have.
Right now for materials, well, and this is weird because some of these are potentially equipment, and that might be too complex if it's going to be that small of a board.
Yep.
Tinfoil / tinsel, stuffing from the stuffed, teddy bear, slippers, rope, heat, Legos, water, kids' broom and dustpan, scissors, and helmet.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, but a bunch of those are also kind of like equipment too. They're not like
So,
broken
like-
down to materials.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
like
like-
we can also change Legos to like blocks, and those have like
Yeah,
they're
anything
wood
you
and
build.
paint or something.
Well, the thing for the Legos, why those were going to be useful, and maybe this is where we just go with like plastic, is because that was for the broken steam pipe. Oh, well, you can make a thing out of Legos to wrap around it.
I think that's like too. That might be too complicated. Like using specific items for specific one, But I don't know.
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah,
I think it needs to be. Everything definitely needs to be versatile.
Right.
So, I mean, in that regard, then I would say that maybe broken steam pipe isn't a hazard unless we're just saying plastic
Yeah,
can go
exactly.
over it.
Right.
And we're not actually saying you're making a Lego thing that goes around this. We're just saying, hey, this is a broken steam pipe. It needs plastic.
Yeah,
Figure it
exactly. Like
Yeah.
plastic.
Yeah, use your
or, like, you have like
imagination.
the repair
Yeah.
theme that like multiple materials could fall into like
Right.
this little icon that represents repair.
Yeah.
Same thing with water. Same thing with I don't know. Like we were saying like reflective materials, but that might be too specific.
Right. Yeah.
Could be metal.
You could just be
Yeah.
metal. Like it could instead of
But
like.
do we like? I think the thing is like, do we have hazards that need metal right now? I don't think they do.
But we can also reverse engineer that a little bit
Oh,
too.
yeah,
Okay,
sure.
these are the most versatile materials.
Yeah.
Which of these hazards need to go away?
Yeah.
Let's think of some new ones based on that.
Right. Yeah. Just realized my hands are on the.
That's fine. My hand has been going like this the entire time, right over your
hovering,
face. Luckily, you're on the other screen too. So here we can go back to the Overlord view.
Okay.
So
Water definitely seems like a material that is versatile and we can totally do in different
Yeah.
things.
Yes.
So I think that's definitely one to keep.
And I feel like water can be in a bunch of different items. So.
yeah.
I think like repair seems like a good theme to go with because you could have different materials that all do repair.
String.
Rubber, metal.
Okay, so yeah, I see what you're saying. We call it a theme, and it's just got like a little hammer icon or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there could be
Functions for
hazards that
repair.
just need to be repaired.
I think that's like
Right.
a better.
I don't care what
yeah.
you use for it, but it just needs the aspect of repairing.
Yeah.
Okay.
These have repair items in them. These have, I don't know what you'd say for water, liquid or something. Like, yeah.
I mean, I think electronics is definitely good because there's definitely gonna be things that like you want to either like fix broken wiring or frayed wiring, or you need to like short something out, like the fan could be shorted
Yeah,
out. if
maybe
you
even
really
like
wanted
the
that.
you have to hack into the surveillance room, so you
Yeah,
need like a
exactly.
circuit board or something.
So like electronics seems like a
Yeah.
good theme. I think like I'm trying to think of like a soft toy kind of thing, because we were talking about like giving the abominable snowman like the teddy bear to subdue him.
I think that's like a good like a
It's
plush
cute.
category.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it could be because that's
Fabric.
the thing too is
Soft stuffing, fabric.
Yeah, 'cause
We
we don't
like
even need to
the
put words on this. We can
slippers
just put
too.
icons on it. So it
Yeah.
could just be an icon of a teddy bear.
like a
on
little
there or
teddy
something.
bear, yeah. And then like, oh yeah, like of course like this like dress up princess costume is also like a teddy bear because it's made of cloth.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
Okay, so that puts us at 4 right now.
massive audience.
Now, so the math guy's here. So since you're eating, I'm just gonna. Did you hear me? I know the fireplace was in the way, so it's
The sturdy
pretty.
Yeah, sound doesn't travel through stone very well.
I wasn't listening. Yeah.
So
levitating fireplace.
essentially, what we were talking about is okay. So we're gonna have a grid of like 16 rooms, 20 rooms, something like that.
Correct.
So we can't have then like 12 materials or 12 things that we need to pull for materials to deal with hazards, because mathematically
yeah.
speaking, that's just way too much to come up with. So that's why we're breaking this down into the materials now. And we were thinking like maybe 6 would be a good number. We're at 4 right now. Like maybe that is the good number that we need to go with, because maybe some hazards need 2 things to deal with them. And so we have versatile hazards and versatile items that have different things with them.
You're going to be better off with that approach mathematically, I think. Trying at 4 and then trying to get hazards that require 2 or maybe even 3 to get by. I think if we start putting hazards together and then we start seeing a 5th theme
Yeah, we can just add
form
to
among
it.
them, we
Right.
can add it. But I would try to keep that number low in the beginning
sense.
and only move it up when kind of have to.
Makes sense, yeah. Yeah.
Water could work with the slime too.
Oh yeah.
Because you're
What's the
just cleaning it
slime?
up.
What's the slime?
So the slime, well, you know the slime.
Oh, I know about slime.
You know the slime.
Let me tell you
So
about slime.
the slime would be on the floor, so the elf would be stuck to it and like lose a turn or lose the rest of their actions or something like that.
Because that like I feel like some hazards need. It would be cool to have a little more complication than just like clear it out. So like maybe you can at least escape from it by like rolling a certain number just to get out of it. You could still clear it out if you needed to, but just having some obstacles that do other things besides just like fix me
Yeah.
Yeah.
would be cool.
Just random thought mechanic too. If you have elves on adjoining tiles, can they share items with each
I
other?
think that's
feel like you
probably a
should,
good
yeah,
way
you
to
should be able
go.
to
Yeah,
pass,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Even if there's like an action system we come up with, then it takes one action to do that
Right.
or something like that. But
And
like
that's where the
yeah.
shipping person can share items from further distance.
Ooh,
Right.
yes.
That's
yeah, good call. Yeah.
Their
Yep, absolutely.
specialty.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just bold these 4 items
I'm
down
gonna
at
go
the
into
bottom
Pizza
of the
Land, I'll be back.
list. Okay, so then
Just a copy
yeah,
is ready
I'm
too,
gonna,
right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was probably like an hour ago, wasn't it?
Yep. It's like the 4th time I've been asked. Not specifically by you.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I've asked. I think. Did I ask it before? I probably did.
I don't think you asked, but I told you.
You probably did. It's good that I'm getting this delivery. It's at 5 p.m. 3 hours into a 24-hour stream.
guys, it's so weird to be so involved with this stream.
Right.
Actually, like paying attention and things now.
I know. It's like you're awake. I'm like, oh God, no, he's got opinions now.
Okay, so all right, so why don't we then now take a step and with the idea in mind that our materials are going to be water, repair, electronics, stuffing. Why don't we go down the hazards and say, is this still good with these 4 items that we're dealing with?
Okay.
So, mind-controlled reindeer.
Wait, what were the hazards again? I mean, what
The
were
materials
again?
are
Sorry, yeah.
water, repair, electronics, and stuffing.
Electronics.
So I think electronics would still work for that.
And mind-controlled reindeer is a really dumb, funny idea.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put electronics beside them. Actually, I'm going to change this one. All right, so micro machines on the floor. Given the categories now, I would say this is not.
Out.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not
maybe,
going
like
to delete anything.
cloth stuffing that you could like throw over them so you can walk over them. But
Just
Hold on.
just cover it up. It's fine.
they totally won't slide under the thing you cover it with.
Okay. Malfunctioning toys. I would say that could be open for
Repair.
both electronics and repair if
Yep.
we wanted to put
Yep.
those
Yep.
on there.
That would be a good like dual one. You need both.
Yeah.
Abominable snowman.
Stuffing and water.
Stuffing and water?
He could be like a multiple, like maybe like he's like, you need stuffing, you need water, you need electronics, you need.
I mean, for now, we should probably not go above 2
Okay.
per. Just and then if we find the game's getting really easy, okay, what can we add on to this? I am gonna put sweater back beside of him though because I love the idea of the abominable snow. I'm throwing a sweater on. Oh no, I can't take the heat. Exploding batteries / cell phones. That could be
Repair.
electronics on electronics or repair. Actually, probably better just go with repair on that. Iced over.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that again could be stuffing if stuffing is like the heat sort of situation. I can go ahead and italicize it too, which kind of puts it on the side for now.
Yeah.
Um,
If it doesn't directly fit, I would just toss it to the side because that might we might find a theme eventually that's like, oh crap, we didn't like heat or fire.
Yeah. Okay, broken steam pipe can be repair. Stuffing on that as well
Sure.
Which one is it?
for broken steam pipe. I mean,
yeah, that's-
you put stuffing in it to
Yeah.
um
I also like the one.
fires.
No, I'll say it.
What? Sorry.
Now I'll tell you when I get next to a mic.
That's probably for the best. Okay.
Yeah, fire needs water.
Exposed Christmas lights would be repair.
I'd also say we could probably double up the same resources. So like fire might need more than just one water. Like it needs a lot of water.
Oh,
to get put
true, true. I mean, we could also have a couple different fires in there. So that's a really good call. So down / exposed Christmas lights, that could be repair. That could also be electronics.
Yeah, probably.
So we have broken toys and malfunctioning toys.
Broken toys aren't really a hazard. Like I don't know.
They just
You
make
repair
kids
it, somebody-
sad.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna go ahead and just italicize that one.
Well, broken toilet. Wait, sorry. Is it broken / malfunctioning, or is it just like?
There were 2 different items on the
Oh, okay.
list.
Okay. Sorry.
You should be.
It's broken implies broken. Shit.
Just
Malfunctioning. Malfunctioning, you know, is they are attacking you. Yeah.
Avalanche / blizzard. Italicize. Yeah.
So I like something like that. Being like it either just inhibits you, or you have to wait for fire or something to clear that out. So it could just be like a hazard that like you can't deal with. But maybe there's a way to like, well,
Yeah.
if we don't put that fire out, it will eventually spread.
Yeah, the same thing like applies to the iced over. Maybe that is just something that's taken out by the fire.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the blizzard too. The blizzard could also be like it's just a storm and it messes you up, but you have to wait around for it to pass. And that's all you can do with the blizzard.
Well, I'd also think the blizzard would definitely be a type of thing where, like, or you walk into a room and there's an avalanche. That's the end of your turn.
Right.
And then, yeah, maybe there's no way to deal with it, but then it really sucks because then you got to spend, I don't know, 2 actions to get out of the room or something. 'Cause
Yeah.
You got to dig your self out.
So, talking blizzards and avalanches, but we're inside, so I'm going to suggest cave in. Like snow piled on the roof and it caved in.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense than avalanche when you're inside.
Avalanche of presents.
I mean, that's honestly that was the first time I heard it.
That's how the Old Country Buffet near where I grew up in Dartmouth closed.
Oh no.
Collapsed. No one was in there. It was like in the morning. But
That happened to a Walgreens in downtown Marblehead, and now we have Howling Wolf Express.
So we have the slime that the elf sticks to. So water would clean that up. The Scotch tape trap, which none of these things really do anything.
Stuffing
with.
so the Scotch tape would stick to the stuffing
Stuffing?
instead of you.
and also,
You can also
like,
do water too, because water will take away the stickiness of
yeah,
tape too.
the stuffing would too, because like
Yeah, either
you
way.
know when you take a piece of tape and like stick it to
Yep.
cloth over and over again, it starts to.
Yeah.
Just standing at the door. I'll get through one day, guys. Paint can attack.
Stuffing
Just
is
put it
like
on your
protection.
forehead,
Yeah. It doesn't like eliminate it though. But I guess like as I don't know, that's something that will drop once and not really hurt anybody.
That
Well,
could also
it could
be,
be-
lose a turn.
Well, it could be the type of thing like if you have stuffing, you don't lose your turn. You get rid of the stuffing, you save yourself, and you don't have stuffing,
I
you
like
lose
that.
your turn.
Yeah.
I like that.
And also give you the mechanic that if you really needed stuffing for something else, you're like, I'll just take the hit
Yep.
and spend the turn here.
All right, so that is the end of hazards we have. We will clearly need to come up with some more. But then there's also going to be the bombs. So I would imagine the bomb needs at least one of everything. One water, one repair, one electronics, one stuffing.
Or
Like
you could have variety for different bombs, so you don't know what bomb you're
That's
dealing with.
that's
until
really
you
great,
reveal it.
yeah. And then we can have like extra bombs, and then when you
Well, I was saying to Matt too, like fires might need like 2 or 3 waters and not just one. So like the bombs could be the same way where you need like 3 electronics and like take this one out.
That's what I was also thinking too. Like some of these hazards, like some of the easier ones, can be like stuffing or water or
Right.
something too. Like we
Yep.
can
That
just, or like
gives-
the Scotch tape trap.
That gives more playability.
Right, exactly.
too.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and move that guy
Oh,
up.
I do like based on our. Some things take 1, some things take 2. I like the idea of bombs taking 3.
Yeah. Yeah, they should be the, the
4,
most
I think 4
complicated
scales
bunch.
too high, so I would start at making all the bombs take 3 cards. And then if we find that it's really easy to defuse bombs and we never find ourselves facing the ability to like, oh, you know, we don't have enough to defuse this bomb, and we're never facing that issue, then we add another one on there.
So, man, turning the mic made me lose my thought.
No pressure.
Oh, okay. So, when a bomb is triggered, how long do you have to defuse the bomb? Because I think that's, and this is another thing that playtesting and math, I'm sure, will get to the bottom of. But it feels like, and again, maybe we need to limit the number of players to this game. Maybe it's a 2 or 3 player game, but then like,
I think the game is limited to a number of rounds, and you have until the rounds are completed to defuse all the bombs.
Yeah.
Like, sorry. No,
Quentin dies on the stream agreeing with John.
That's what you get, Quentin.
it fits with like the Die Hard action movie thing, right? Like you have
exactly what I
4
was thinking
hours
too,
to
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like instructions should actually have like the ransom note or like the message that.
yes, absolutely, yes, yes.
I'll start getting some of the kids' books. We can cut them up.
Perfect. Why are we missing all these letters?
So, we've got pretty good direction here. I started talking when I was also starting to eat a cookie.
Jesus, guys. I ate my stuff in the other room,
I'm eating away from the camera.
and Danielle is eating away from the microphone.
not the camera.
These people can watch me eat.
I'm front and center with the food.
Okay.
So, so what do we need more of, right? Like, if we're thinking a grid, let's start 4x4, 16 rooms, right? So if it was a case of 16 rooms, and we want it to be variable, well, I guess that part doesn't need to be variable. It could always be the same 16 rooms. And then you walk into one and each room has X number of things and you don't know what's in what room. But if we're looking at 16 rooms and we're looking at, we have item cards and we have event cards, is it going to be, you don't know how many you get of one? Are those all one deck? Where sometimes it's like, how are we, where does those decks sit now?
So I don't think there are event cards at this point. I think the room status sits under the room card, and then there's just the present stack. And maybe at the beginning of your turn, you get to grab 2 presents, or it's an action to grab 2 presents. And then when you flip this over, potentially it's not a hazard. Potentially it's like, hey, Merry Christmas, take 3 more presents. Or maybe it's a hazard, and then Danielle was saying once you take care of a hazard, it'll have the certain number of presents that you get for getting rid of it.
Okay, so we've got a presence deck and we've got a status deck. Some statuses are good, some statuses are bad, and completing the items needed to get past a bad status usually comes with a present reward. Is that where we're sitting
That
at?
makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So now if we're looking at 16 cards and we're looking at a variable amount of statuses, we've got 16 rooms that we need to have. Let's call it 24 statuses to keep it interesting. With the 16, you go above 40%.
Do you want to write these
higher.
down, Matt?
We are 1 room short. Do I want to write what
So
down?
Write down
do we
John's
need
numbers.
do we need to ensure a ratio between hazard versus other statuses when you're putting them down, or like are we okay saying we'll just randomize it for now and see how it works? So I can see like you dealing them out, and like there could be games that you have a bunch of good statuses and not too many hazards, which could be fine.
I think in general, there's not going to be too many good statuses.
Right.
I think that's how it turns out.
And you always have at least 1 bomb. But you have
Now
to-
I think the bombs get dealt in separately because I feel like the difficulty correlation of number of players is gonna coincide with how many bombs.
Yeah. So if you're putting down 15 statuses, or you're putting down 16 statuses, there's going to be 15 from the status deck and then 1 bomb. That's your 16th that you then disperse under the tiles.
Right.
Okay.
So I think we need probably, let's call it, let's say a high player game involves 4 bombs. So let's say we want to have 6 types of bombs, so we don't know which bombs will be in the game. And then another 15 bad statuses and 3 good statuses. And so from there, you've got that gets you to your 24.
Oh, sorry. When you were saying 24, I was figuring that would be in addition to the bombs, because if you took the 6 out of that 24, then you're going to have 18 statuses to go with the 16 rooms. And if you're only putting like 1 bomb in the deck, then you pretty much know what you're getting for all the different hazards. It's just a little extra variety there.
Yeah, but you know you'd be getting them in the version of getting all of them. But I'm fine to add a few more on there. Just that base number is where I think we would need to be at for the 24. I'm not sure if there are going to be 1 bomb games. In my mind, a 1 bomb game might be too easy.
Yeah.
But we will get into that. That's what playtesting is for. So how many hazards, how many bad statuses do we have right now?
Well, I'll tell you, we need 1 more room. If anyone's got a good room up.
Do we have the assembly line, assembly floor?
We have factor floor, yeah.
Okay. We have break room. We have bathrooms. We have 2 different offices.
Yep.
We have a garage. We have stables.
I don't think we wrote down boiler room. That was one of the other ones.
Oh,
that
we
tossed
didn't
out.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a boiler room in.
We have Nog Bar.
So that gives us 16.
Yep. So that gives us our rooms.
Okay, right on the other side.
Yeah, and
This
not
also
something we
might be the
should-
kind of thing, honestly, where like 2 through 4 player games use 16
Yeah.
and 5 plus use 20 or
Yeah. Well, and I was also thinking like we're very much thinking in like a block, like the I don't know. The house is a square essentially,
Yeah.
but
Right.
Yeah.
there could be other like variations of like how you set up.
Yeah, absolutely. You could come up with different layouts and
So like it would probably suck to do like a really long one that has
Yeah, like a
rings
shotgun
off of
shack
it.
where it's
yeah,
just, yeah.
exactly. So
But,
you
like-
can run all the way across.
but like you really could like if you want to make variable difficulties,
Yeah,
that
that's what I
is
mean,
something
like,
we could
you-
do.
We
Like
should obviously play test.
Yeah.
this thing.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to have like variable like layouts depending on
A
like
2
the
by 8.
difficulty you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that, and then I do not want to involve other things on the room statuses right now, but it could be cool to have like some with immunities. So like the boiler room, you can't get iced over in the boiler room. So like if you draw that, great, it doesn't happen. So
That's a
something
really
to
good
introduce
idea.
later.
Yeah.
but-
yeah, that's some great polish step that we can add on.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when we're still upright and functioning
Right.
tomorrow
yeah,
morning.
exactly.
Yeah. So now we have our 16 rooms.
We're
Right.
at 11 bad hazards right now.
11 bad hazards. Can you run through the list again?
We have mind-controlled reindeer. We have mind-controlled reindeer.
Uh-huh.
This... We skipped over fan room when we were going over that before. I kind of...
It's a little too specific to the room, I think.
Yeah, we can't guarantee that it's going to be with the room, so... We have 10 bad hazards right now.
Can we make fan room one of the drawable rooms and it just is a shitty room that there might be something in it that you need?
Maybe.
But then how are you going to, like, when you're randomly putting the status out and randomly putting the rooms out, like...
Maybe that's one of the
Maybe you
polish
just,
steps
like,
things where like
like it basically chops up like the status that's attached to it.
Are there duplicates of the status cards?
there could be if you
Yeah, I mean,
that
like
to
we
be.
said that we probably wanted multiple fires, so like that's definitely something.
True.
You could have multiple cave-ins, and so some of these things
Yeah.
could be duplicated. But
One thing to add to the supplies/materials list for us might be like fire tokens too, since the fire will probably spread
Yeah,
from tile to tile.
Definitely.
That just popped in my head. Sorry, not to derail us. But I was thinking like if we end up doing every room has like a specific like boiler room can't get iced over. Maybe the fan room does a thing,
Yeah.
and it just sucks. So you don't want
Yeah,
to
like it chews up your presents that you had in your hand. Like,
Yeah.
that
Oh
would
yeah.
suck.
Like maybe
Or
even
it
just
causes
one.
fire to spread quicker.
Ooh, yeah, that
Yeah.
would be good. Yeah, because it's feeding it more oxygen. Yeah, like if it's next to
Or-
a room that catches on fire, it pushes the
Yeah.
fire.
it can't catch on fire
But it
because,
spreads.
but it
But it
chops up
spreads.
your presents.
Right.
Yeah.
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 I like that.
So you could have like, okay, I either lose all my presents or I go through fire,
Right.
and you don't want to go through fire.
And we can theme it like the factory exhaust room or something like that. If we don't want to just say fan room.
Yeah. Exactly.
HVAC room.
Yeah, smokestack.
So,
Chimney.
but essentially, it's a room, not a hazard.
Chimney.
So,
Chimney room.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
well,
so
a chimney room would have fire though, so you couldn't do the can't catch fire stuff.
Well, it can't
I
catch
like
fire
the
because the
fan.
fire's contained, man.
I like the fan. I want it to chew up presents now.
yeah,
It's
I like,
made of
I like
brick,
this
yeah.
mechanic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fan it is.
We've saved the fan room.
Yes, stupid ideas living on longer. But yeah, so other hazards we could have, right? So, did you finish going through that list?
I read one, and you took the mic away from me.
Dare you.
I'm gonna let you finish.
That seems right.
Okay, so we
I'm
have
glad they're both sharing mics.
mind-controlled reindeer, malfunctioning toys, abominable snowman, exploding batteries / cell phones / iPads, broken steam pipe, fires, downed / exposed Christmas lights, slime that sticks the elf to the tile, scotch tape trap, and paint can attack.
I mean, do you want like smashed ornaments a la Home Alone?
I mean, that would go back to the micro machine thing.
The
Yeah,
broken
true.
toys, even too.
Oh yeah. We could just do a thing that's like, one of them is smashed toys, one of them are smashed ornaments, but they're the same card essentially.
Right,
just
yeah,
reskinned.
exactly.
But yeah.
I just think we don't have an aspect that really helps.
Those
Yeah,
could
I mean,
also
like-
be one of the like, just like, oh, like,
Sweep it up.
yeah, lose an action, sweeping it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Or like power through the room and like lose an item because you drop
Yeah, it
that.
could like decrease movement too.
yeah, I was just gonna say something that takes 2 moves to get through.
Yeah.
Like I keep wanting to say like taffy, but taffy's not a Christmas thing. There's no
That's why I
real.
said slime.
Taffy's summer.
Yeah, because you get this. You're right. Kids get their gack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially with like the whole John McClane thing, we need like sharp things to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shoot the glass balls.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be cool to have some that are just like decreases movement and it's not
Yeah.
like a repair or
Yeah.
fix this kind of deal. Because
Okay.
yeah, that works in like it makes the slime less like out of the box too. The slime is basically just like another deterrent that like could be cleaned away with just water, but it also
Yeah.
sticks you to that spot until you roll to get out of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
Yeah, that-
we could also use rolls as you have to roll above something to get across it.
I
think
like that
would be good
mechanic.
To use the dice
That
more.
might be a better
like
mechanic
that.
using the die.
Well, that like mechanic's good where you can use the item or the die. So like if you don't have
Yeah.
the item, maybe you lose time or items, but like you can roll the die. to
Yeah,
like,
like I don't
get
have
out
a
of
Or
it.
you need
water
the
to
item.
handle
You know,
this
you
right
need
now.
the item for
So-
some reason.
Aside from being in a situation that you might roll a die for good luck, like, do we even really need a die in this game?
Well, we
Movement.
just came up with that idea. So
But no, but that's for one very like specific thing.
How are
I'm
we
not saying we
moving?
can't
I mean,
have
like,
one in
what-
there.
what if-
Yeah,
But
movement. I was assuming we were going to use actions, but we don't
right, that's
have
what
Right.
I was thinking. Is like
But what if-
depending on your character, you get 3 actions or you get 4 actions.
what if we build out that mechanic for like several of the other lesser hazards? So like, oh, you can use the items, but if you don't have the item, which might suck because no one's drawing it, you can at least like roll to get out of it. And you get penalized for doing it, and then it's all you're like gambling. So there's like that's part of the penalty, but also you get some sort of small penalization. So it feels good if you win, but also like doesn't, like-
so
The roll costs
here,
one of your actions.
yeah.
Here's the
there you go. Yeah, exactly.
thing
or maybe
that
like
I'm-
2 actions, so it's a little more.
I've
Whatever. Yeah.
worked with this guy long enough now that I would say maybe the better approach is add it if we need it. Like, let's play the game without
Sure,
the
yeah,
die,
okay, yeah.
and like if we find it's functioning fine without it.
Because everything that a die could do, we have already come up with mechanics so far that could
maybe
replace it.
maybe Lucky Elf flips a coin. It's like say flip a coin.
I mean, you could also have Lucky Elf like be a little different where he's handling like the resource cards differently, so like he can pick up an extra card or like pretend that
Right.
stuffing's actually water, like something like that. That
Oh yeah, he can use
Ooh,
one
that's
item
a good
as a
one.
different
That's a really
item,
good
right?
idea, Yeah.
Stuffing can be water. Yeah, I like that. I like that mechanic.
or like he just draws until he gets the resource too. Like you could do something really basic like that.
Draw an extra present. Like every time they draw presents, they draw +1 present and decide which one to discard
Yeah,
and put at the
exactly.
bottom of the pile or something.
Yeah.
Does one of the other ones already have the peeking mechanic? Because I mean, his mechanic could be I can peek at the space I'm about to move to and decide if I want to move there. Or
I think
not.
didn't wrapping have the
Yeah,
peeking
that was a gift
mechanic?
wrapping.
I was not
think,
paying attention to
Yeah,
that
yeah.
part.
I
Yeah.
think we'd instead of doing the resources, we'd still want to do the peeking at the tile, especially now that we have the statuses under the
Well, we
tiles.
can
That still
do.
makes sense to me.
So what I was thinking is, wrapping can peek at the deck. Surveillance room can peek under the tile.
Yeah, no, yeah, that totally makes sense because like you can peek in presents.
Yep.
And then rewrap them.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
that makes
what I was
sense.
thinking,
Okay.
Do we get a noise complaint?
What?
Do we get a noise complaint?
No. I'm just
Are you
checking every now
kids?
and then.
Just doing his check.
It's probably me banging the microphone. Okay.